That guy segment, did you just black out for a little bit? I gotta get the timing right on that transition. Hello again. You saw nothing.
Yes, if you thought you saw us before, no, you didn't. Welcome to Morning Ritual. I'm one of your hosts, Noir. I go by He There. You can find me all over the internet as Dino England, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Hive, Blue Sky, OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. And this is the primary host.
Hi, I'm Anita, and I'm running on 3 hours of sleep.
Woo boy! And
Let's
with
do
us, we got a fantastic guest that, to be quite honest, I've wanted on for a while. I was just too nervous to ask. So here we go. We go. Denkles, tell people about yourself.
Everybody. I'm Denkles. You can call me Matt because Denkles isn't like a normal name to call a person. But for branding purposes, we stick with it. I make fun little music things on the internet and other videos that are with my friends where we talk about stuff. And currently, the biggest project I'm working on is a tabletop that my friend is building that I'm one of the cast members on and help produce. That's currently themed as Pokemon, but for legal reasons, it's not Pokemon. But it is a really cool show called Unbeatable that we do, and it's such a blast, and I love it so much. I have a little Totodile and Gibble. They're so cute. Yeah, I make internet songs and memes and funny hee hee ha ha's for people to laugh at.
Heck yeah.
I have been a fan of your TTRPG musicals for some time now. Pardon me, the boy again has been an asshole all this weekend. And I've got so many questions. First off, how did you get started doing this?
Oh, that's such a fun story. I originally, when I got onto TikTok, the reason I got onto TikTok was because my job at the time, I had a friend there who was like, "Oh, you should come over to my house and play a tabletop game." Because I had just gotten into like D&D as a concept, and he was like, "You should like this game. It's Vampire the Masquerade." And I was like, "Okay, sure, I'll try that." And he took me through all the books. I think we had played, it was the second edition or something. I can't remember the specific book. He had all of the books, but it was one of them from his bookshelf. And he wanted me to pick a Toreador, or he didn't want me to. I picked a Toreador as the family. And I was like, "Oh, what do I want to make?" And I didn't have TikTok at the time, but I was like, "Oh, I'll make like a TikTok e-boy." And so I was like, "Well, let me figure out what that looks like." So I downloaded TikTok to see what that would be, and then made little crafting TikTok videos where I was like whittling a dice tray or like whittling a dice tower and seeing what that would look like. And it went surprisingly well. Like I made little potion bottles and stuff. I have I actually have it right here. My dice tower. I went to my sister's house and cut a tree branch off the backyard and turned it into a dice tower. And it's got a little stone on the top that you can like drop a guy in. And I made that and I was like, "Yo, I like this. I'm going to start doing crafting stuff on TikTok and be a crafting TikTok channel." So I started making dice, and then I was like, "Oh, well, I need a way to like market this. So let me just make a song about new dice." So I did that. That did a lot better than the crafting stuff. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll stick to this then." And then from there, I just started making other little songs about things I was learning in D&D or stuff I just kind of felt passionate about at the time when that came around. And so I made like songs about warlocks, monks, and just kind of like the core classes. And then from there, more ideas just kept kind of sprouting out. But I really thought I was going to be a crafting channel because I was like, "Yo, crafting goes hard. I'm all about this." And then I realized music was much easier and cheaper for me specifically because, it was Hobby Lobby had my credit card and a grip. It was like, "Yo, these things aren't cheap," and you know that. So I was like, "I'll just get like Ableton. That's cheaper probably as a one-time purchase."
You know, you actually answered a question that I've been very curious about. Like, what DAW does he use? Like,
honestly, for the first couple of songs that I made, it was just strictly Audacity. It was bad. It was Audacity with a Blue Yeti and I would go into this closet where I put blankets up and would just be like, oh, this sounds great. And now that I have like a proper working system and like filtering, and I know how to do sound mixing for the most part, I'm not great at it, but still enough to do that, I can like record something from here and it'll sound a million times better than what it sounds in a stuffy hot closet that I can't even like breathe in, because I'm just like, I need it to be super quiet and there's so much just stale air around me. And yeah, now understanding how this works, looking back at the initial like year and a half of my first TikToks of that I made there, I was like, why did people like this? This is crazy how like different the quality is.
No, I mean, you can hear the jump, but
Mhm.
even your early stuff was like really fucking good. Like,
I appreciate that. It was blood, sweat, and tears, and a whole lot of reverb from from Audacity, because I realized reverb can let you hide stuff. So I was just like, I'm gonna reverb and then I'm gonna double it so it sounds like there's like a lot of effort I'm putting into it. And yeah, so I appreciate it was the quality over quantity, but for the quality I had, it was very low quality.
Whittling a dice tray, whittling a dice tower, whittling your player's HP down to 0.
Exactly. Yeah.
Making songs with Audacity, but also the software with the same name. I love Sam.
The dice tray I had made for this one too, I was I'm a punny guy. I like puns. And I wood burned in the front of it nature roll 20. So I was like, oh, it's made of wood and it's like natural 20. And my brother-in-law was helping me with it, and he doesn't know a lick about D&D. I'd love to teach him someday, but he was just like, and that's what you wanted to say. And I'm like, trust me, I'm cooking here. I know what I'm doing. This is great. And then I showed it to some of my other D&D friends, and they're like, nature roll 20. And I'm like, it didn't. Okay. All right. Am I crazy? I feel like I should. This is a good joke, guys. You should be getting this. And then I had to explain it, and then they got it, and I was like, it's not the same. You didn't get it immediately. And so
Jokes are
now
funnier when you explain them.
the easiest way I've found to making sure a joke lands is like the rule of 3. If you have to tell a joke 3 times, it's not funny anymore. If you can get it within those first 3, then you're good. And so I had a running joke with one of my friends at work where they would try and tell a joke, and obviously it's like if they were like in a crowd, a lot of people are talking, they would say it and no one else would hear it, but I'd hear them saying it. And so like from behind the crowd, I would just make eye contact with them and be like, and then they'd say it again and no one else would hear it, and I'd be like, you're running out, man. You got to make sure it lands. And then I'd like quiet the crowd down so they could hear his joke or whatever. And then the third time it would land and everyone like laughs really loud. And I'm like, it's a proven theory. As if you can get it 3 times, if you can get it within that time frame, it lands and people think it's really funny.
Why did you put that in my brain?
I've strategized it to the point where like in any social situation, if I hear people trying to make jokes and stuff, I'm like, they're on their second try of this. I can tell by how they're saying the sentence now. And then if it lands, I'm like, okay, they did it within 3. It's a fun little mini game I play when dealing with jokes and people talking and stuff. It's very fun to observe.
See, but the thing is, I've also noticed this: the confidence goes down with each attempt,
and that's why you at 3, it's like abysmal. If it doesn't land by that, if you try and do a 4th time, it's like, buddy, don't.
There's no gas. There's no
nothing,
gas.
Nothing in the tank. Don't try it. And that's when you can swoop in if they they haven't gotten it. You swoop in and you're like, I haven't done my 3 yet. You've knocked out your 3. I have the confidence of Adonis. I can say what I want and it'll be funny. And that's when you say the joke and then give them the credit for it. But it's so funny to see that 4th attempt happen, and then it's just like the light in their eye slowly fades away, and it's like they're not the man they once were before they tried this.
They leave that conversation changed.
Yeah, they are not the same person.
So I was wondering, what instruments do you play?
So I am a percussionist at heart. I did as like a section leader in like high school, where I would play snare drum, the tenors or like the quads, bass drum. I can play the xylophone and play the piano in the same sense that like most people can play like Mary Had a Little Lamb if they look at the notes and stuff. I have an understanding of like what the notes are and where they are, but when I was in high school, I really liked the movie Drumline because I was on Drumline and I was like, oh, cool, Nick Cannon, this is awesome. And I really took to heart the I don't need to practice. What's practicing? To the point where my band director was like, all right, Mr. Blah blah blah, here's the sheet music. Go ahead and read it. And I'm like, I remember what it sounds like, and I'll do my best to imitate that, but I'm not reading nothing. So I don't have the greatest ability at reading music, but it's mainly like hit things with sticks and make it sound good. So I'm good at drum producing and stuff, but if you ask me to play something on a guitar, I can fake it really good because of Rock Band and Guitar Hero 3. So I got the motions down, but the actual note plucking, the best I can do is I can play like Everlong, because I tried Guitar Smith once, and that was the first song I tried.
Is not an easy song.
It hurt my fingers for sure.
That song hurts so much.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I have a it's an Esteban acoustic guitar that it looks super cool, and again, it plays Everlong great. But in terms of like any other song, I don't know how to play it. And I used it as a prop in one video where I had like a guitar sample, and someone commented, they're like, "Yo, is that an Esteban?" And I was like, let me check. I don't know. I don't play this thing. And they were like, "Oh wow, you're doing a great job at playing." And I'm like, I purposely have my fingers and the fretboard off the camera, and you just see my hand strumming. You don't know what I'm doing. This is fake. This is all a ruse. I'm just good at where I place the camera. So to out myself at this, I'm a big liar. I can play some instruments like the kazoo and slide whistle as well, but those are pretty base. That's like low entry level of like getting into it. You don't have to have much skill.
You throw some respect on the kazoos.
Hey man, I always have one at like an arm's reach, so like keep that thing on me. I'm a silly guy. Gotta have my silly instruments with me.
Oh, you think you caught me lacking? Woo!
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I love props. If I can find something and I'm like, oh, this will be a good prop. I'm like, I don't know when I'll need a little duck at my desk, but I got one. And it's like, cool. I stay at the ready. You never know when a joke will come where it's like, this is the punchline at an arm's reach. I can do it.
So, man, I've got to ask. You started TikTok with the intent of being a crafting channel, and then the music blew up. And I have to ask, like, I know there are some people that started TikTok wanting it to go one way, and the algorithm was like, "No, you finna do this forever." Like, I mean, how do you get accustomed to that? Like, is there any bitterness? Like, man, but I would have made some dope dice boxes, or is it just like, I'm excited that it's picking up?
I'm excited that it's picking up. I'm still glad that I'm doing music over the crafting stuff, because I am a musician at heart. I like the crafting things, and because that was me being like, I don't want to just keep buying dice. If I make them myself, then I'll feel like better about it. And then I looked at the price of like having to buy a pressure pot and all that stuff, and I was like, let's stick to this. But it's the like algorithm stuff like that, I'm still not even sure how it works. I'm glad people saw it, and that kind of helped kick a lot of stuff off. But it was definitely that moment of like, I could keep trying the old thing, but this seems like where I need to be. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So I'm not gonna like try and change what's supposed to happen. So that's where I kind of just started leaning more into doing the music stuff. And I like coming up with like jokes and punchlines for rhymes and stuff, because writing's the really fun part. And finding like really complex ways to say things musically, and that's like the enjoyment I get out of it, is like, ooh, this is what the thing's gonna be about, but I want to find a funny way to make this be the punchline. And I can't do that with crafting, as we've heard before with the nature roll 20. It may not land, so I'm I'm hedging my bets on the music part of it being the easiest way for me to like translate all of that.
So have you integrated your music into your TTRPG playing or GMing at all yet?
Surprisingly, I've only GM'd once, and that was for my home game at the time. That was of 2 people, because our regular GM was like out and away, and it was a very shoddily put together thing where I feel like I was just making it up on my own, which I think is the whole point of that. But I've not tried GMing in any other sense past that. But in terms of like at the table, I try my best to not play a bard, but it's hard when someone says a word, my song association goes off really, really badly. Like I think a week or so ago, we were playing a game, and someone said a specific phrase, and then I started humming, and then cut to 5 minutes later, the entire table is singing 500 Miles, and they're going like da 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 dum da dum da dum da da da, and it's like, where did we get to this? And I was like, I'm an artificer. Why are we doing this right now? Like, how did it get to this point? So now I'm like, all right, DM, I'm gonna come back next week as a bard because I can't. I went so long without playing a bard. I'm like, I just need to get back into it. And it's weird too because like on like stream games and online stuff, I haven't played a bard on like the internet. I usually play like a cleric or like a not a fighter, but like a warlock and other stuff like that, and just I've not touched a bard yet. I still try and make the little bardy jokes here and there, and I feel like I should probably try that more, but it's hard to not just my song association, my brain rot for music is just too strong where I just can't not
just
say
all
the
your
lyric that's
characters
in my
have to
head.
be, all your characters have to have ranks and performance. That's what that is.
For real. I can't escape it. It's so hard.
I'm just imagining an artificer like, you know, my voice is pretty sweet. I should build a microphone in my robot.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was the artificer with like the suit, so I would just be like a Sailor Moon Gundam man that can put on a show at the same time. And so like I have my light shows coming from my Iron Man suit, and it looks great, and I sing amazingly.
Oh, I'm just imagining a crossover of Sailor Moon and Gundam Wing where the transformation scene is them going into the Gundam.
There is one of my friends, that great gentleman, had showed me there was a crossover where I think it was a Gundam that was Sailor Moon, where it had like the pigtails and everything. I forget the specific series. They'd be able to rattle it off because they're amazing like that. But I know it's like Gundam Sailor Moon, and it looks really cool. And I was like, oh, what series of that show is that? And he was like, oh, it's a blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I won't remember this. I'm sorry, because there's so many different Gundams that exist, and it's just impossible to remember. But yes, the concept of that is fantastic, and I love the suit up animation is like, that's just like the early 90s man's Sailor Moon transformation, where it's like the girls have the Sailor Moon
sequence. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and it's like, for people to say like, oh, I can't watch Sailor Moon, or I didn't watch Sailor Moon back then, and then they would go and watch like Power Ranger Turbo or something, and it's like, you get what you're doing, right? It's the same thing. They just don't have pigtails and or like skirts. Some of them do still too, but it's like, cool, you did a crazy henshin that let you drive like an SUV. Sick, love that for you. Like, it's the same thing. you're just avoiding the truth.
No, Sailor Moon's for girls. Like, once I got over that, then I got to really appreciate how wildly overpowered Sailor Moon is. Just,
she could solo a lot of people. Power scaling is its own conversation entirely with a bunch of people, but like Sailor Moon's got hands for real.
The day I truly learned and accepted that Sailor Moon could solo Goku was a very eye-opening experience for me. I was like, wait, what? Like, first off, she can solo Vegeta without even thinking about it because he's still got evil in his heart.
Yeah.
That's not even
the moment someone brings up evil in Vegeta, and then Sailor Moon's like, you said what? Hold on. It's done.
What he used to do? Ooh, well.
You only knew in this man's history.
Sailor Moon is like Ghost Rider on crack.
Okay, but I have a question.
Yes.
Didn't Piccolo destroy the moon in the Dragon Ball Z universe?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna pretend to know. I don't know.
It was in Dragon Ball, Roshi destroyed the moon when they were in the first rendition of the Iron Fist tournament, or the Strongest in the World tournament, and it was because Goku was turning into a great ape, and Roshi knew that destroying the moon would do that. I forget how they fixed it. I think Bulma's dad did some sciencey stuff and made a new moon or something like that. But yeah,
well, then the moon powers will
it's
probably
weird.
be back if there's an artificial moon in place.
I think they like the cut.
But does
So like
no, Sailor Moon's powers come from the power of love. It's just moon themed.
I think
right?
it's just moon themed or like labeled as the moon. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
um,
you can destroy the moon. The Sailor Moon would just like shrug her shoulders,
yeah,
vanish you and everything that you've done wrong from the planet, and then snap her fingers, and there be a new improved moon.
because I think the Vegeta had some capsule that he threw that made like an artificial moon that let him turn into a great ape that they then used for something. And I don't know if that moon ever goes away. So I think when the other one was destroyed, he just gave the planet a new moon. Maybe I'm not sure, but I think all
Anime,
this to
folks.
say, yeah,
Dragon
anime
Ball.
and Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon can body everybody.
Yeah, except Storm. Like I refuse to accept that. So my next question for you is like you've hopped on the scene and you worked with a lot of really dope folks. I know like you've kind of become one of the many legendary bards of the TTRPG space. I'm wondering, is there a dream project that you have that you would love to either be involved in or create?
No clue because I appreciate those titles being given to me. I'm very much a man that is I've done my thing, and I feel like now I'm just slowly fading away into the obscurities of the corners where it's like, oh, do you remember my Bo Burnham Barovia parody? Great, that's perfect. And haven't made that like hit tweet banger to replace it. But I'm currently doing some stuff with Westerner Arcane Anthems, who's awesome. We're working on some songs together. But like dream collab that I'm like, I could never imagine myself making a song with this person or for these people. I really don't know. My gut instinct is to say Matt Mercer because he had dubbed me a level 20 bard, and that kind of echoed through a lot of stuff when I made a sea shanty from the Exandria book. And that still, I think I got the like notification that he like retweeted it and said that when I was like in the middle of working on like an important phone call, and I was like, oh, hold on guys, I'll be right back, I gotta go do something else, and then freaked out about that. And then all my friends were like, did you guys see this, blah blah blah, and I was like, this is crazy. And then everyone just started calling me a level 20 bard, and I was like, I've not played a bard publicly, I could be lying to you guys right now. What are we doing?
What
is
a vicious mockery?
Yeah,
no.
what? Yeah, for real. So like that would be cool. I have no clue what that would look like. And I don't know. I'm trying to think like what else I would want that like what's the biggest like jump the shark thing I can think of. But like I don't really know, because everything I'm thinking of are just like, oh, these are just like from the hip puns that I would be like, oh, this would be funny or this would be funny. And it's not like I've put so much thought into this and I've planned for this like momentous occasion. It's more of like, oh, what's on the news today? Oh, that's funny, let's talk about that. And it might not like land for a longer time. So I'd have to put more thought into that. But I would say the answer I'll give for now is like, sure, something with Matt Mercer, because that's he got me into partly got me into D&D as a whole, because my friend was like, hey, watch this show Critical Role, and I was like, what's this all about? And now I'm like, I'm deep in it. But that would be good, just as a way of being like, thanks for being so entertaining and this beat so awesome. But I don't know, I'll jump the shark at some point. I don't know what it's going to be though. that's the harder part.
We will be eager.
You'll
to
be the
see
first
it.
to know.
Just like, oh,
eagerly await your time on the motorcycle with the ramp.
Yes, for real. I'll get the leather jacket and everything. I don't even think you wore a leather jacket to that. It was probably a life vest. I can't think of the word for a life vest. I was like a water saving thing, a water saving jacket.
I was just thinking floaty, but I'm not sure if that's what they're actually called, because I stay away from the sea.
Oh no, he was water skiing. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a jet ski, or
I thought
he
it was a
wearing
motorcycle.
his leather jacket.
He was.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's probably, yeah.
Love that consistency.
That's
That thing's probably demolished after being in salt water. A leather jacket being drenched in salt water.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
For
He's
those,
like, hey, did you see me jump the shark? Like, dude, get away! You reek right now. You're in wet leather that's covered in salt. That's disgusting, man. Please step away.
For those that might be too young to know what we're talking about, the phrase "jump the shark" comes from an old show called Happy Days, in which the coolest character on the show does something that is meant to be cool, and they went so past cool that it hit corny immediately. And this is back in the what, 50s, 60s?
It was like
it was
60.
1977 actually.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, so a character does something that they think is cool, but it's so far on the cool spectrum that it hits corny.
This is too cool. We need to make it lamer.
Yeah, he jumped over a shark on a jet ski while wearing a leather coat. It's
that's not
jumping the shark.
cool. I don't know what.
Listen,
It's so cool. There's nothing that you can do that's cooler than that. So the show had to end.
listen, Arthur Herbert Fonzarelli died for our sins.
For real. Oh man.
Like, did the Fonz die doing that?
No, he didn't. It's Henry Winkler. He's still on TV.
Oh no.
Oh no, I didn't mean the actor. I meant the character.
No, the character's still alive.
He jumps the shark and then succumbs to a broken heart later in life. Just can't survive not doing that every day for the rest of his life. He was like, I never felt the rush of jumping those 4 sand sharks in that small little circle with the jet ski.
I didn't think about how the sharks would feel, and when I was flying over them on my jet ski,
the sharks looked up and be like, we look so lame right now. He looks so cool. Whoa, what is our life?
He felt bad and he just gave into it. What did I do to those sharks?
How did I get here?
Okay, so we have some standard questions that we ask, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. And one of them, your answer could potentially break my heart. So we're just gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
There is a war in the TTRPG space between those of us who see these little guys as just storytelling implements. You roll them, you get the result,
Shiny
and then you
rocks.
play accordingly. But then there are those that see these as the forbidden candy, something that you put in your mouth and crunch. Now, I'm aware that they're edible dice, but they don't want edible dice because that's crunching. They want to crunch, which is specifically putting
your own teeth breaking from.
They want to do the forbidden chew.
Yeah, they want the nasty chew.
Okay.
And I'm part of the side of the war that goes, don't put that shit in your mouth. It's a dental choking. It's a dental hazard. It's a choking hazard.
Yeah.
You don't know where they've been. Just don't do that. And then
I know where they've been. I've seen them fall off the table many times. I know exactly where they went.
Exactly. And then you got people that go, you're not my real mom. And then they just do it anyway. And then of course we have some sides in the middle that just say, hey, we're not gonna stop you, but we, what's your coward ass side say, man?
That we will not impugn upon your right to crunch. It is after all your right to do with your body as you please. Your crunch, your choice, of course.
Wow, way to color the argument.
Says the person who has been going off on a 3-minute tirade about how it's a gross and a choking hazard. Anyways.
Is it not gross and a choking hazard?
Listen, I'm also mostly on the side of let them die.
Pun intended.
I never got that was a pun.
Yeah, that's why... Oh my God.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to bridge that gap for you. Maybe bring you over to let them crunch if they need to.
No. No, they must be stopped. So anyway, those are the main 3 sides. There are, of course, small subdivisions within each side. But I have to ask you, Matt, what side of this war are you on? Are you stop the crunch? Are you crunch responsibly, or are you crunch crew?
I would say crunch responsibly, I think that if they look really good, maybe like if they look like rock candy, like you'd normally see like on a stick or something, I get it. That makes sense. I have been very thankful and blessed to have pretty okay teeth to where I've not had to have many like dental surgeries or things like that. I don't want more if I could save myself from doing that. So like, I'm looking out for myself doing that, but like, yo, if you got coverage and insurance and you want that bill, I'm sure your dentist will be thanking you later while they're on vacation or something. Because like, the concept of it, I get it, love it, here for it. The rebellion of telling me that I can do what I want and I'm not going to stop because you're telling me to, because it is my dice and I want them to be crunched, makes sense. I understand it.
Disgusting.
In practice, I urge to reconsider, but I will not stop it. I will not stop you. If you take my dice and try and do it, I'll stop you, because those are my dice. I don't want you to do that. Please buy your own. That's where I think I'll draw the line. Is crunch any dice you want except for the ones currently in my possession. That's fair. As long as I can keep rolling, I'm good.
Disgusting. I can't support it. I can't support it. It's gross. It's gross.
I'll ask, have you tried it?
I'll neither confirm nor deny whether I have ever myself once crunched.
You are pleading the fifth.
I'm pleading the fifth. I mean,
I'm hearing some mental stirring. You might be.
No. Listen, okay. Let me tell you what we're up against here. So we had Abria on the show, who at the time was a CEO of a dice company. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but she admitted on our show that she instructs the dice maker to make dice that look and smell as delicious as possible.
Smell delicious as possible too,
was
like
looking
scented?
into scented inks, so that
See, the part that gets me with that is it's like, oh, scented. It's like, yes, that's an appealing thing, and then ink probably shouldn't go in a mouth.
right. You see what we're up against? They don't care about us.
That's tough.
Big dice don't care about.
I mean, but like they make I'm really surprised I haven't seen more like edible dice companies pop up on like my feed, because I feel like that's a market, and I feel, definitely people are taking advantage of it, because I've seen people crunch dice and like consume it and not die from the after effects of it. So I feel like they were edible in some form, but like, did they taste good? I don't know. Like, is it hard to make? These things we don't know.
Maybe we need to reach out to one of these companies tomorrow and get a sponsorship.
For what?
Crunch
Edible
taste
dice?
Test. Yeah, do it.
Oh yeah, we could get edible dice, and then we can yeah.
Do a blind taste test, like which one's the edible die. You'll find out when you crunch your die. Make them sign a waiver first, but I mean, at least that's a clickbait title if I've ever seen one.
I mean, well, there are already shows called like, is it cake?
But it's the only way to test it is by actually being like, put your money where your mouth is. Crunch this die if you think it's real enough to be consumed. It would take some real candy artisans.
It's that is it chocolate show or is
it
cake?
Oh god, I hate that show so much.
Will it crunch?
Will it crunch? Is gonna be the new show on Critical Miss?
Will it crunch?
Will it crunch?
Well, you answered the question. My heart has been broken, so I have a follow-up.
I don't think my answer should completely break your heart. Like, fracture, understandable, because I'm not 100% on your side, but like I see where you're coming from. You are heard and seen and valid. I get it, 100%. Well, I'm not gonna say 100%. 82%. I get it.
But here is the follow-up question. You get to play with any 5 people that are alive right now. You get to choose who's the GM. You get to choose what game you play, and you don't count towards the 5.
That opened up so many more. Okay.
What you playing? Who's the GM? And who's at the table?
Purely because I am such a tremendous fan of Space Jam, I would ask Michael Jordan to be there. He doesn't need me to play the game. I just want him to be there. I still haven't even figured out what game I'd be playing. But Michael
whatever
Jordan,
game you're playing, he's taking it personally.
I'm gonna have a great time. Who else? I think I would want George Watsky that's a huge music inspiration and
Yeah.
genius when it comes to music. And I'm sure it would just be fantastic.
I became, I'm embarrassed, but I became a huge Watsky fan because of epic rap battles of history.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Zach Sherwin's another one too. That's
Yeah.
in epic rap battles that does stuff with Watsky as well. That I'm like always impressed by the lyricism with it.
So good.
That would be something that if they ever make another video, I've not seen an epic rap battle in like 2 years. It feels like that would be a crazy end goal for me to be on an epic rap battle. I don't know who I'd be, but that'd be crazy. But yeah, so we'll go Michael Jordan, Watsky. I'll put Zach Sherwin as a temporary person, as a rap battle guy. MF Doom. I'll throw MF Doom there. That would be fun. And who would be the last I could think of that's coming to mind?
Sadly, you can't have MF Doom. It has to be someone that's alive right now.
I'll do Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, because I love One Piece so much. And I think for the game that we would play, is it any tabletop game?
Any tabletop game.
Oh, that's tough. My brain wants to say, is it Kalask? It's like a 1v1 game, but it's Kalask. It's like air hockey, but you have these little magnets on the bottom of the table that you like hit. It's legitimately just a board game. I don't know why that's coming to mind as a game to play, but in terms of like an RPG type of game, I would probably say Pathfinder, because I've not played Pathfinder, and that would be fun to learn with these people, especially Michael Jordan. I want to sell Michael Jordan on Pathfinder. I've not played it, but I feel like I could get him to play it, and that would be incredible. Yeah, I would say Pathfinder. I'll give that a try.
Oh, I dig it. And also, I don't know why, but I feel like Michael Jordan would specialize in the intimidation tree, just because you can get good enough at intimidation to scare somebody to death by looking at them.
Yep.
And I'm fairly certain that would appeal to Michael Jordan.
It would be great. And then the entire time we would just be having the Space Jam theme song of "Come On and Slam" and "Welcome to the Jam."
Yeah,
playing the entire time. I'm sure he's not tired of it. He'd love it. And then he would sign my memorabilia plate and cup that I got at an auction. Just got him and Bugs Bunny dunking a galaxy.
I got a Space Jam poster that's just waiting for a frame.
So good. I think I still have my CD too. Man. Anyway, I could get on a tangent for Space DJs. Jam for forever. Yes. Oh my gosh, Quad City DJs, great. It's such a masterpiece.
It's 2023. And the meme of taking Quad City DJs, Come On and Slam, and mixing it with contemporary songs, especially anime themes, is still prevalent. It's the meme that will not die. If you listen to Quad City DJs, and the Attack on Titan theme song mix, it's the most epic thing on the planet. So highly recommend. Oh my god. But no, that would be a fucking table that I would not want to piss anybody at the table off. Are they gonna spit the most vicious verses?
Vile. You will be a changed person after hearing whatever ill they need to speak of you.
They rhyme so many words that I didn't think you could.
Yeah, and then Michael Jordan just stands there like this the whole time, arms crossed. He's like, I don't rhyme, but I'm here. I'm learning the game because Matt's so convincing.
There's an anime, Baki, where there's like this big swole, which explains everybody in Baki. They're all big swole, but this guy with red hair that's just so fucking intimidating, and that dude reminds me of Michael Jordan. Like he's just, I want to meet Michael Jordan, but I'm also afraid because I know he'd look at me and just be like,
I think if in this scenario of having this made up table, I'd want to name the building or whatever we're playing in the Jam, so that when I meet him at the door, I could say, "Welcome to the Jam, Michael Jordan," and he's able to enter in, and we'd have a great time. It would be so fantastic. If anything, I would try and make up if there's not already a Space Jam tabletop game. That way, I can just sell them on it even more, or just be a Space Jam
how is there
themed
not one?
Pathfinder game.
How is there not one? We need to get on that. Space Jam, the TTRPG.
I feel like they make a TTRPG about like every other property that exists. It's just about time that Space Jam just gets its day in the sun.
So, so you could say that welcome to the Jam. Come on and slam. Slam started. Slam standing for sling lots of assorted math rocks.
Oh my god!
Oh man, I could only imagine the name that's on the box for that just being all of that written out. Oh, that's perfect.
What?
Oh, it should probably be Spelljammer, right? And if it's gonna be,
Yes.
that makes more sense. I'll change that. Instead of Pathfinder, Spelljammer. That's what we'll play.
You could do a Space Jam themed Spelljammer campaign.
That seems easier, because having to make an entire TTRPG instead of just theming it, I'll go with the easier thing of theming it. That's probably the move to make. And then I'm sure Zach and Watsky and MF Doom, they'll have fun. That'll be great.
I'm afraid to meet Michael Jordan because I've assigned something to his personality that I have no proof if it's actually real. But I feel like when he looks at you, he just thinks of how many points he could score on you in a game. And I
think shaking his hand, I would just be like, "Hey, nice to meet you, Matt. 0. You're good. Just go ahead. Court's yours, dog. Go for it."
I just want you to know, I know you would destroy me, and I accept this.
That's how you want to meet your heroes.
I do and don't want to meet Michael Jordan. Oh, hey, buddy. Sorry, my cat's again being an asshole. So, this brings me to the follow-up question to that one, which is, you become God Emperor of the space. Any 3 things you want to have happen, you snap your fingers and boom, it happens. What changes do you make to the TTRPG space?
The first thing I'll do is snap and make the ability of the music I make will be at the forefront of any algorithm, so people see it, and that way I can be able to properly showcase my talents to those who may not know it yet. That's my one selfish one. The rest will be for everyone else. The second one would be that everyone has the same understanding and level of what the game space like means to people, in the sense that like there's not that like presence of like better than gatekeepy, like all these mentalities of just like, oh well, they only play this like once every other month, they're not a true fan of the game. And it's like, dude, this is a made up game. The rules don't matter. We're just having fun here. It's not that serious. And I think that if people can like let go of that like super serious like mentality of it, the space could be like better for it, because at the end of the day, we're just all silly goofy guys just having a good time. And like obviously, yes, you can tell your serious stories and stuff like that, but like not everybody's there for that. And the sooner we can like understand that, and everyone like knows like, oh, this is where you could do this and that, it's a lot less of like heads butting and being like, this is how it should be done. And it's like, rules are just suggestions. No one's holding you to it. And then the third wish, I was meant to make a very stupid and selfish one. I would say everyone has a Space Jam themed dice tray, but that's too much.
Yes! I'll give you that one for free.
Sick, let's go. That was my fourth wish, my secret one. I would say third one. Okay, this may be a selfish one too, but I'll word it to where everyone has access to this as well. I wish there was something where you could watch one video of some kind, and it would give you the ability to have known all the backlog of something that like a show is done, because there are so many amazing shows that my friends have produced, other people that I see have made and created, that I'm like, this is so awesome, and then I go to like look at it and it's like, this is 60 hours of content, and I cannot watch all of it. I would love to. I physically cannot watch all of this content. I don't know how I got through as much of Crit Role as I did, in terms of like just watching it in between my spare time and then afterwards turning back and being like, that's how much time I spent doing that thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because like it's crazy the amount of time it takes to consume it, let alone make it and then having to go through and like watch it, edit it, and all that type of stuff. And I wish I had the ability to like absorb everything and not like miss anything, because I want to support my friends and watch the things that I enjoy, but I also like to have free time for stuff that I can't do if I'm watching like 4-hour videos or 5-hour videos, depending on the tables and stuff, which they're telling great stories. I'm very certain of that, but it's just, I wish I had more time, or there was a way to just like get all of the information quickly. So I'd like that for myself, but I'm going to word it in a way that everyone has access to it. There's a button that's just like, do you want the speedrun edition of this show? And then you get all the knowledge and save yourself the time, but get the enjoyment as if you had watched all of it, because obviously they put effort into their stories that they're telling.
Yeah. I actually we're developing something here on this channel, a show called The Green Room, where we're taking entire cast of actual plays and we're interviewing them. And one of the things that I wanted to have done was to have the cast basically give us all their favorite clips, and before we even talk to the cast and show those clips, I wanted to get them to give us a quick summary of everything that happened in the show, so you don't have to be a fan of the show to know what's going on when we're interviewing folks, because at the beginning we're gonna give like, this is the story of blah 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 blah, and this is how we got here, and then we introduce the cast, and then we show some clips that coincide with what happened in the summary. Because I do believe there's amazing actual plays out there that are like in their 3rd or 4th season, and that's a little intimidating for folks to hop in on like the 3rd season,
especially when you're dealing with like 3 or 4 hour episodes at a time.
It's a hard buy-in for sure.
So absolutely, I love that idea. We're working on trying to make something like that a reality here, because I agree with you. It's really like, there are really a lot of good stories out there. It's starting from like season 3 is rough. It's always rough.
The like lofty slash I'm saying it because I don't think I'll be able to do it, because again it takes so much time to do it, would be to like find shows like that have like a lot of a backlog, and either what would probably be the most logical thing to do is like go through like a wiki that explains or gives you the story like rundown or broken down, and then doing like a recap song that brings you up to speed of where you would need to go. And to the idea of like a like TLDR, but not in that way, because I feel like TLDR is a very rude way of saying something, where it's like, too long, didn't read, but it's just like, it's not that, but like speed running what the story's been so far in a musical way, because that's an easy way to remember stuff for me specifically. And I'm like, oh, this would be something that I would love. And then like the example I had was I was behind on some like the latest campaign of Crit Role. This is where I noticed it, where I was just like, I don't have time to be able to watch all of this. And like I feel like I started strong, and then just I fell off because I had other stuff come up. And it's like, I would love to have a song that exists that catches me up to where I am now, but I have no way of doing that because I don't know what's happened up till then, so I can't make a song about it. And the only way currently that I know to be able to catch myself up on something is to watch all of it. So then it's like this ever-chaining loop of like, this is an impossible thing. It makes sense to make it because people would want this, but I can't do it because I can't make this, but I should make this, and it just keeps going back and forth. And it's like this feedback loop. it's a good idea. I just can't do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's not enough time in the day.
You need to
For a
almost
home
have a
game,
conversation with Danny Carr, who is their lore keeper, and just be like, here's all the information. Okay.
Yes, give me the PDF that explains everything. I will be back in like an hour with a song. Promise, it'll be great.
I remember for a home game I used to have, I would record, like our game was Sunday, and every Wednesday I would record the recap till we didn't start the fire.
I didn't know that. Was it Fall Out Boy just
Yep.
did like a new version of that? And my friend had told me, and I was like, they did a cover, and he's like, no, they did a whole new thing. And I was like, let me listen to this. And I was like, it's crazy just to realize how much stuff has happened, and also
So
comparing it
much.
to the last song of how much it was a song in the sense that it was music, but he was just saying words. He was
Yeah.
just saying things, the titles of things, and I was like, there's some rhyming, I think, but that's just on the chorus. So that's the song. I got. Like,
It's such a great format for recaps though, because like especially if
Yeah.
you're talking to like players who were there last week,
that
all you got
understand
to
the
do
context.
is I remember in the last one I did, I think I still have the file. Like there's a line where I just like they ran into a psionic baby. It was something. It like I didn't explain what the psionic baby was, but
You're just like, I hear this, and now I know. We
Yeah,
ran into
yeah,
a
they're
silent
like-
baby.
yeah, we did run into a psionic baby.
Oh, that's great.
So no, I love that kind of stuff.
Didn't you also have a recap done through a Bard of the Realm? Was that
So-
someone else I'm thinking?
No, we had a character. So I offered my players a way to get extra XP where they could take up just a civilian of Gloria, my homebrew world, and
Mhm.
one of the players decided to be a journalist who would do zodiacs for
Like horoscopes and stuff.
like would do horoscopes and also like promotional tour guide stuff. And it was this really shitty bard character with like a strong New York accent. It's just like, so here's what's going on today in Gloria. If you were born under the second sun, I got bad news for you.
Oh, that's.
Your love's
now
not
I just
gonna
want
work.
my horoscope read by a guy with a thick New York accent.
It was the fucking greatest.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, so like if you're a GM, that's a great way to get to
Do
fool
the
your players
recaps.
to fool your players into do a world building for you. I now
that's
have a whole horoscope zodiac system for my world that I didn't build because one of my players wanted extra XP. So that being said, I've got another question for you. And this is a fun one. If you could drain the profitability and the popularity from one franchise and give it to another one, a popular choice these days is like, I would take Harry Potter and give all of its money and popularity to Highlander. Like, what would you pick? Very curious.
Is this specific to just anything in terms of
Anything.
like any entity? Okay, sick.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do Harry Potter, because like why would we want to? Yeah, we all know why. So let's take all of the fortune and fame from Harry Potter, and I just want to add it to the deep well of resources and popularity that is One Piece, and just put it into One Piece.
Oh my god!
Because I have One Piece brain rot, and my friends can attest. You can see I have the cards. It's not picking up on the stream, but you guys can see I have the One Piece card game here, and all of them here as well. I'm a huge One Piece fan, and it's funny because I don't really talk about it on like my socials because I'm very TTRPG like focused. But I in my back of my head, I'm always thinking like, how can I talk about One Piece in a more popular sense that like other people know about it? Because my friends all know, because I've now convinced them to go through and watch all of One Piece. I've taken like 4 friends through the entirety of One Piece practically over the span of showing it to them. and it's hard work, but somebody's got to do it, and that guy's me. So if I could give the popularity and world renown of Harry Potter and give that to One Piece, One Piece is already getting that currently with the live action that just came out and everything too. But in the sense that just more people should know about it. It's a great story being told, and I love it so much. That's where I would wire all the money to, is just One Piece and just making sure more people know about it, and
One Piece
that
fandom.
it's so good.
Y'all are
Pirate guys.
nuts.
The little pirate, silly, goofy guys. It's the best.
I gotta introduce you to my friend Hoosier, AJ.
Oh yeah. AJ and I, we know. he's got his One Piece show going. He's like, all right, so when are you gonna work with me on this? And I was like, just say the word, I got you. So we know, way ahead of you. So I hear you, I see you. It's been heard. Order's already in the oven. We're cooking.
Listen.
I know my people.
Listen,
Between
I have
you,
been
AJ, and Angie.
I have been so fucking reluctant to watch One Piece, but all of my friends who are One Piece fans, it's like they can't allow it. like no, you need to watch this.
I've come to the practice because, again, I am saged. I know what I'm doing when I show people One Piece. So depending on, like, if you're like, oh, I like this show, and this show, I'm like, cool. I have the way I can present One Piece to you, and the things I can sell you on that will get you to watch it. I have a system where I'm like, they're like, I don't want to watch like 1,000-something episodes. I'm like, sick. There's a movie that'll knock out like 100 of them. You can just kind of skip through a bunch of them by watching this movie, and this movie, and then get through all of this. And some people will be like, oh, well, you're going to miss the fine-tuning details between these characters. I'm like, they're not going to care about that. We care about it because we've watched all of it. But if you at least get through the bigger, chunkier story bits so you can catch up to more current stuff, then you can go back and watch the older stuff that you may have missed. And I think aside from the live action that a lot of people got pushed to watch the show, the anime recently had like a big story thing that the manga had happened like a year ago. And it's just Luffy being a silly, goofy guy. And everyone's
Gear
like,
5.
they're going to watch it now. And so I did a video where I'm like, oh, now you want to watch it because he's silly and goofy. But before, when he was silly and goofy, he just wasn't silly enough for you. That was the draw line. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. But I'm genuinely happy that a lot of people have gained interest in it because of that. Because then I'm like, cool, you get to now look forward to something and be able to watch all of this and like build up to it. So like, I'm just saying, if AJ is not doing the best job in convincing you, let me know. I can curate the best experience for you, and you will leave a better person for it, because you'll now know the glory and greatness of One Piece.
I started a fight in my comments and I didn't realize it, because like I was like, fine, I'll watch one.
Who did you bad talk?
No, I didn't back talk.
Okay.
That's
an easy way.
I may have talk some shit. My plan is I'm gonna watch every time I watch an episode of One Piece. I'm just gonna record myself watching it and post it on TikTok. And so I recorded the first episode, and there's this annoying as fuck character named Kobe. And I was just like, I'm gonna keep watching. I don't know if I can keep watching this show if this annoying ass kid keeps popping up. And my inbox got flooded. I
hate that for you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I can okay. So if depending on how you absorb content and information, if you do not care about spoilers, I can show you something that should hopefully be a selling point that'll be like, oh, all right, I will be invested for this. If you're not, that's understandable. I respect the spoiler.
Normally I don't care about spoilers, but like everybody's like, let this kid cook, and I'm like, there's no way he could be cool, and they're just like, let him cook. And so like let
the man cook. I will agree with the people. Let him cook. He's working on something. You don't know what. He's working on something.
So I'm like, okay, I'll let it cook, and I won't look up what he apparently becomes. Mm-hmm. But then here's where the war started in my comments. I was just like, I'm gonna.
That wasn't it. That wasn't the war. Oh no.
The war was people were trying to be like, well, here's what happens to him, and then other people be like, shut the fuck up, don't ruin it for him. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, But here's where the war started. Apparently, I was suggested to watch something called One Piece, and then a flood of people came and went, "Don't tell them to do that shit! Like it's gonna ruin it!" And so a fight broke out between One Pacers and One Piecers. I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. And they're fighting so passionately in my comments.
That's funny.
That video was posted maybe a month or two ago, and they're still like, I still get notifications from them fighting about how I'm supposed to watch One Piece.
It's because they're caught up and they have nothing else to do. So they need to do something, and that's what they're currently doing. That's going to take their attention away. So it makes sense. The One Piece is basically just an abridged version of the show that cuts out a lot of like the pacing that people find issues with, that like Toei animation does when like animating something that's not moving when it's coming from like
showing
pages
the
and
same
stuff.
rock 4 times or something.
More like 5, but yeah, it's I get it, and One Piece makes a lot of sense. A lot of people love it. I enjoy the experience of watching that rock 5 different times, because then I'm like, ooh, this is the 5th time. Will we get a 6th? I think depending on how you absorb stuff and like how you watch things, you won't really notice there being much of a difference. There is some stuff where you will have a bigger difference in terms of like how much time you're saving using One Piece, but if you're in it for the long run, which by the end of this whole thing you will be, you'll be able to appreciate it, and will be down to ride or die for this band of pirates, and you'll love them to death just as much as I do. It's great.
So you're saying the rule of 3 doesn't apply to rocks in One Piece?
Oh no. It's whole different. I would say, jokes aside with that show, but the entire show is jokes. So like you can't really, you just have to take everything for what it is, and then just be like, yes sir, I will take another, and then accept that 5th rock with the smile on your face, and just you're happy to have it. Because something I've noticed with getting through One Piece, and especially having watched it a second time through multiple times with other people, is you miss having something to look forward to, because everyone's like, oh, it's like 1,000 episodes, it's going to be so much, and then you finish the 1,000 episodes and you're like, I don't have anything else. There's nothing more. And then you get to the point where it's like, well, I got to absorb any type of One Piece content. And then they find themselves in your comments debating against One Piece people. So you miss the time you wish you had when you were like, oh, I'm not going to watch One Piece. And then you start and you're like, how long have I not known about this thing? This is why? And then you get to see you get to see Kobe cook, is what I'll say. That's what you get to see. You get to see that payoff happen, and it's great.
Listen, I can't imagine a character that annoying becoming anything of value, but you know what? We'll see. Again, it goes to show the passion of the One Piece fandom, because like there are people genuinely heartfelt in my comments going, I'm so jealous of you right now that you get to like,
it's a great feeling.
And I'm like,
it is a high in its own of watching someone else experience it for the first time, because you're like, I remember that was me at that point. And so taking my friends through it, I'm like, oh, we're getting up to this episode, sick. All right, go ahead, I'll pull it up on my screen. Go ahead guys, watch it. Yeah, good. Oh yeah, this is great, right? Yeah, and then we all just have a great time.
Show, you're watching
I'm watching them. It's the best part, because I'm like, I memorize the show, I know everything that's going on, and so they're like, ooh, does this person do that? They say their little theories and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, if only you knew. And just kind of get excited. It's such a pleasure to be able to take people through that show and let them experience it, because if I could say, if I had a 5th secret wish, and that wasn't just giving everyone Space Jam dice trays, my 5th wish would be to forget everything I know about One Piece so that I could re-experience it again, because it's that good of a story that I'm just like, where I watched it, where it hit me in that time in my life, it's perfect. It's such a perfect show. And I get it, not everything's perfect. To me, this is perfect, and it's hard for me to say that. There's only 2 things in this world that are perfect: Space Jam and One Piece. That's what I go down being known as.
I do love Space Jam, so I'm gonna take your word on.
If you like Space Jam, I got a show for you about some pirates. It's not at all the same, but
I have to say though, like, actually sitting down to, and I've only watched one episode, so I might be talking out my ass here, but Luffy is not at all what I thought he was gonna be.
Yeah.
I Luffy is the most savage, vicious motherfucker. Like, and I think I like how out of pocket Luffy is, because I used to think like, okay, the top three are Naruto, Goku, and like I understood that Luffy was in everybody's top three, and I'm just like, Goku has his thing. Goku always wants to fight.
Yeah.
Naruto has his thing. He wants to protect his village, and I was like, I don't know. I thought Luffy was just like, I don't know. I'm just a mean old pirate, and I just want that One Piece. And then I watched the show, and I'm like, this is Bugs Bunny. This is a disrespectful Bugs Bunny.
The Luffy
Bugs Bunny
mentality
is pretty disrespectful. Let's be honest here.
That is true. Yeah, Bugs is pretty. He's pretty. You've seen Space Jam, right? he's kind of rude in that. But the Luffy mentality is, hi, I'm Luffy. Nice to meet you. You've given me a meal. I will liberate your country. Is the mentality that Luffy has, and it's the best. But I think with the I feel like with how he's presented in the show and like how you get to see him kind of like develop as a character, he's there, and he's a very loyal character, and it's great. And you can tell a difference between like how he is at the beginning of the show to like where he would be currently. He's still the same guy regardless, but you do get to see really good character changes. But that's interesting to think that his outside perspective of you not having watched the show is that he's a mean old pirate, because he does nothing but smile the entire time, which is like, it's so great. And I'm glad you watched the first episode to at least start with that. But I'm cooking in my brain. I'm getting up a rubric of what I recommend you should watch to get you the best experience. And don't worry, you'll leave this a jolly man, knowing exactly what you need to succeed in the show.
Like there's this big pirate lady, who, like, and everybody's just like, Luffy, she's really sensitive about her looks, so like maybe be chill. And then she pops up. He goes, God damn, bitch, you ugly as fuck. And I'm like, Luffy, bro.
He's a direct little boy.
No respect,
no filter,
no respect. And there's like, I don't know anything about this show, so like there's this I'm telling you stuff that you already know.
I know, because you were like this big pirate. It's like, oh, Alvida, the Alvida Pirates, fantastic, great. Episode 1, love her.
During episode 1, like Luffy's hardly in episode 1, and it's like they like most of the first episode follows this like orange-haired lady who's like a fucking ninja pirate, and I'm like, can I watch her instead, please? Like, who the fuck is this? And why are we?
Got you. I know exactly what you need to watch. It's gonna be perfect. I'm telling you. This is gonna be so good.
She wasn't playing no fucking games, and I'm like, I don't care about Luffy. I want to follow the orange-haired ninja lady.
Man, do I have a list of episodes for you?
I think this is
exactly what you need.
I think this is a new side hustle for you. Is I will give you a curated list of One Piece
for sure.
episodes based on what you like.
Yes, please donate to my Ko-fi. I will curate a list for you to experience One Piece. Only if you've not watched One Piece can you donate to my Ko-fi to then have me curate this list for you.
I mean, I would not have given
this disrupt.
Exactly, yeah, right.
I would not have given this anime a shot if the fucking fandom was not as persistent as they.
We're strong and we can't be stopped.
Listen, I've told my buddy Chris, I'm never going to watch One Piece. And his response is always the same. Yeah, until you do. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I said no. No, you think you said no.
We tell ourselves lies a lot of the time, and that's understandable. And then once we realize the truth, it's inevitable. you, and you accept the truth, and then you blink, and you're 300 episodes in, wishing you had more to go, and you do, but you're just like, what if we just watched like theory videos instead, and we just give us more time, so there's like more space between episodes, and it's. I'm glad that you were proven wrong of not starting One Piece.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually tackle episode 2 today. Now, now that we talk
Proud of
about
you,
it.
so proud.
But that's enough about me. It's not even a question. I just want to throw this into the universe because I would love to see it happen one day. I would love to see you and Nerdy on a project together.
I would as well. I've spoken to Matt multiple times, and we did panels together at PAX Unplugged. We're doing another one this year at PAX Unplugged as well.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be great. And I think leaving that last panel, he's been incredibly busy. So like I in no way I'm like, oh man, we got to figure this out. Because I'm like, dude, you're busy. You're doing a whole orchestra thing. Figure that out first. I'm low priority, please. But we had some ideas for some collaborations because that man is a genius. And I feel like us both being geniuses together and both aptly being named Matt is hilarious and fun. So I think we had some idea to do like a like something versus something type of like collaborative song. But we'll see how that goes because that idea might have changed because it was like the time and when we had that idea was like a year or so back. I can't recall, but that is definitely a person that is on the list of like immediate collabs that I'm looking forward to getting situated. We're both busy doing things. He more than I because that orchestra thing it's so sick and that so awesome. But to do that with him, I'm very excited to see what will come of it because I can only imagine what type of lyrical antics we can get up to with our minds combined, like Wonder Twins uniting, but just strictly on the name of Matt going off of that. It'll be great.
That will be so. I like that. That's been my nerd dream collaboration is just to see y'all do something together.
It'll be great. Like... Honestly, something I was thinking of doing at some point is an updated, because we did this a while back with one of my other bard friends, Jake Lionheart. It was a bard cipher where it was just like he had like 5 different beats that went on, and then he messaged everybody and was like, hey, pick a beat and then hop on it. And so I was like, I'll go with this one. And that was our bard cipher. I think it's on his Spotify, but it's sick. We go through like a whole bunch of different people, but I feel like an updated one would be really great because that was like a year and a half ago.
Hell yeah.
And I can only imagine because anytime you hear a cipher, you're like, oh, what's going to come next? Who's going to be the next person and stuff? I always find that to be very fun. And I think just having a big cipher where everyone's just kind of being very braggadocious and flexing and just being like just all out there, volume up, would be super sick and incredible. So that would be a fun idea to do. I just have to like target down some bards that want to participate. So if anyone does, DM me or something, because I'm paralyzing myself with being too busy thinking of 50 other things to like actually continue moving forward with it. So I'm just speaking things into mind, and then if someone's like, hey, we'll do this, then I'll focus up on it.
Oh hell yeah. Well, shoot, I would love to see that come to fruition. Like I music and TTRPGs are my favorite thing, and when they mesh, it's just like so good, so good. So I have to ask, if it was a cipher based on classes and Bard was already taken, what class would you represent in a cipher?
Ooh, good question.
Interesting. I've done 2 songs on monks so far, which is funny because like I think that's one of the classes I don't like the most, just because I never play them and it doesn't appeal to me as a class to play. So it's funny that I've done the most songs about it. But I would say if I couldn't do a bard, my heart just wants to go with what I would play, which would be like a cleric or like a warlock or something. But I feel like a wizard could be pretty good. because with them having like a spell book, it would just be like a tome of just all the different types of bars. Yeah. If I were a producer, I would have, instead of it being like a tome of beasts, it would be like a tome of beats of all these different things. But I don't do that part of it too much. But I would probably say wizard. That would be the easiest way to get very like verbose and like witty with everything that I'm doing. Close second would be sorcerer, because it's like the same thing, just skip the books. That you'd be able to kind of like
less books, more swagger.
Exactly, more charisma. But yeah, I'd probably say either wizard or sorcerer, something a mix between those, a multi-class even, to tackle those two, I think.
Oh, a multi-class cipher would be sickening.
That would be pretty sick. I'm coming up with more ideas as we're continuing this conversation.
Has someone done like the epic rap battles of history, but for D&D classes?
Yeah, I did. It was epic rap battles of D&D. It went for, I think I did like four, not too many. I don't think. I know I did like warlock versus cleric, like the very simple ones, like artificer versus druid, and what was the other one, like monk versus paladin or something like that. No, monk versus wizard, I can't remember.
I was gonna say it was unfair match
a while ago. Yeah, but I mean, it was however I wanted it to go. Normally the way I'd write it would be like introductory bar, offensive bar attacking the other person, offensive bar attacking the other person, or whoever would have that finishing line finishes with like a punchline or something. That generally, if they have the punchline section, they are more likely to be like in favor of winning, just because of how the like setups of jokes work and stuff. But I think in the druid versus artificer one, I just made the line of like, we're the same except for your stuff's natural and I'm arcane, so we're the same person, let's just multi-class into each other, which like statistically not a smart move to be like, I'm a druid / artificer and then I'm an artificer / druid, because I don't think those like meld very well in terms of like synergy for a game. But like it rhymed, so that worked. And I was able
thematically it looks fucking sick.
Thematically it was great, because I was like, oh guys, they're friends at the end of the day. They're happy about it. But I've not tried more in a minute. I had an idea with another friend, but again, everyone's busy with stuff, of doing like other D&D verses, not specifically classes, but like monsters from the monster manual going up against each other and stuff. That could be kind of cool. But things just take time. and that's the thing that no one has. So it's the harder part.
Your secret sixth wish is that everybody has time for collabs.
If everyone had time.
I swear to God.
I think everyone would have more time if everyone could just condense all the content they're watching very quickly, except for One Piece. That's the only show you can't speedrun. You gotta watch. I did my time. I served my time.
We got a pacer. This isn't a pacer at all.
But yeah, I think that would, secret sixth wish, sans the Space Jam play dice trays. But yeah, if everyone had more time to work on the things that I would have worked on, that would be great. Yeah, I think doing versus stuff is very fun, and there's definitely a market for it, because then you have the people that would be like, I could do a rap battle of One Piece versus One Piece. I don't know why I would do that. I'm just asking for trouble if I do that. So that's literally walking into it. Yeah,
One Piecers hold a grudge, so
I know, and it would be such a self-sabotaging move if I did that, because I was just saying earlier, I'm like, what if I talk about One Piece? I don't want to be like, what if I went to war with everyone who talks about One Piece? Like, I'm a sane man.
They've got a lot of time.
I know what I'm walking into. I know they do.
They're patient people.
For sure. Or I guess impatient if they're the One Pacers. They just want to get to it, but that's a fight for another day.
Oh, well, I think that's a perfect place for us to take a break. We've been at this for 1 hour and 30.
Yeah.
So we'll see you all in 10? That sound good to y'all?
About 10 minutes.
All right.
Half an episode of One Piece, guys. Get started. I'll be back. Let me know how you think of episode 2.
All right. We will see you very soon.
All right. Rock and roll.
We are clear.
All right. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go be.
And hello. We are back.
Hello, motherfuckers. Thank you for sticking with us. We are in the second half, which we lovingly named the Dark Roast. It's more of the same, really. We just gave it a cool name.
Yeah.
Now we do have some designated segments for the second half, of course, but I kind of want to jump into a few more questions here, which I I always hate to do this, but I have to do it. It's kind of like a kill your darlings type of situation here. But of all the projects and all the music that you put out, what's the one that you're most proud of how it turned out?
Um, hmm. I think genuinely my Welcome to Barovia parody was the best one that I think I've done because I felt very accomplished doing that. Because obviously when Bo Burnham's Inside came out, all the songs were still very fresh, and when trying to make that song, I didn't really understand what was going on musically for it to then recreate it. So I had to listen to that song a lot, and I listened to Inside a ton because I was like, oh man, this just resonates with me. It's such a good production. But listening to specifically Welcome to the Internet on repeat multiple times so I could hear every little like ding and bell whistle and like noise that has to be made, and then trying to find a sample that is closest to that as possible. It kind of broke my brain a little bit where I heard that song way too much, and then had to get to the point where like the tempo was speeding up and it kept getting faster and faster, and I'm like, all right, I need to not do music for like a week straight after producing this because I'm tired of listening to just anything. But I think putting as much as I could into that was very fun. I collaborated with my friends to write that, and have it be like the best in terms of like making sure it hit the beats for the Barovia like campaigns and stuff. I still get people that are like, "Oh, we play this song every time we start our session." And I'm like, "That's crazy. That's insane." Like, part of me wants to be like, why are you doing that? But like, they enjoy the song. That's the whole point. That's just my imposter syndrome talking there. But it's cool to be able to see that and to have people like resonate with it so much because it's just funny. And then people will always ask, there's a line in there that's just like, you should kill your monk. And I have no beef with monks. I know I had said earlier, that's my least favorite class, but I was just trying to think of a funny punchline, and I was just like, something, you should kill your monk, like just in your party. And I was like, I don't think people are gonna have a monk in their party. The amount of comments I got where it's just like, what's with the monk hate? And I'm like, it's just the lyric, man. I don't know. It worked, and that's what it was for.
It fit. Don't take it personal.
For real, yeah. And people do take it personally, and that's on them if they want to take it personally. But I think that song, it was very much I knew that I did something, I did it well, and I felt like I did it well. Whereas some of the other songs, I made it and I was just like, oh, well, that worked. Cool. All right. I don't know what I did. That one I kind of had a little bit more like, I know this is going to be a good one, and it was. So I probably feel the most proud about that one, I'd say.
So I'm surprised you recreated the music piece by piece. I
Yeah.
thought you just
Yeah.
I thought you just took it in
Like an
wiped out
instrumental?
the vocals. Yeah.
It would be great if someone had that available. I don't have that technology, so I did it the hard way of going through and being like,
man.
womp, 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 womp. It, yeah, and I think honestly when that had happened, because I was talking to someone at Gen Con, and I was like, oh, I might finish the song because like there's the whole other half of the song I didn't even like touch, because I'm used to just making everything short for TikTok. But I think my Ableton had updated, and I don't know if I even have the file for it anymore.
Oh, that's
So
rough.
I'm like, if I even want to look, I don't want to get sad and look and not find it there, but I also don't want to look and not find it there and then tell myself that I need to finish the other half of it and have to remake the whole thing over again because like I think I would actually cry. So I'd rather save myself those tears and maybe just say I'll do it someday and just leave that as a mystery in the sky for better days.
So have you started the journey of putting your content also on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I for the longest time forgot I had a YouTube, and so like when I'd go on stuff, people were like, "Oh, plug your stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, and I think I have a YouTube, and I think I have an Instagram." Like I am Instagram and YouTube are two platforms that I wish I could grow more. I just keep forgetting about them. I
I feel
don't
that.
post my things to them. I need to, but yeah, it's slowly Instagram's gotten better with like the how the real system works compared to how it used to originally because it was bad. But and then YouTube Shorts is definitely changing for the better. They're pretty locked in with it being like if it's not under a minute, that's going to look like a really funky YouTube video, and it doesn't translate as well. But
Yeah.
I do have some ideas for other stuff that I've worked on for like YouTube that isn't just like a short tiny song. Like I worked with Gavin Verhey from Magic the Gathering, who does a lot of like the R&D and like card development and stuff. And I had him pick out like 3 different cards and like just tell me a story about those cards, and then made a song about it. And then was like, "Here's the song," which was like it was really fun and creative to do because I find it fun to give myself like a challenge to work towards. I have some other ones that I have arranged. I've just not gotten into the mind space of like making recording and like doing the other part of it that's making it. I've set it up to be like, "Hey, do you want to work on this with me?" And they're like, "Yeah," and they send me the footage, and then my brain's like, I can't can't fathom thinking of working on this at this very moment. So like a lot of them have been put on the back burner for the moment, but other longer form videos are in my brain. Will I make them quickly? No, but thoughts of developing YouTube more is definitely like a goal. It's just I didn't realize how much time stuff took. Time's crazy, guys. It's
Yeah.
it's incredible. Like
And there's not an overabundance of it either.
for real, yeah.
uh
That
the,
is the truth.
the lack of time is what's killing me lately. So I'm, of course, I mean the thing that everybody's obsessing over these days is Baldur's Gate. So do we have some Baldur's Gate tunes to expect from you?
Honestly, I think was it Tom Cardy just made Perception Check. It was like a really
Yeah.
I saw that and was just like I I don't think I he made the perfect Baldur's Gate song. I can't no one can compete with this. So I'm sure if I put my brain cells together and think hard enough, I could probably whip up something from that. But hearing that, I was just like, this is just too perfect. I don't even want to like think of trying to make something to compete with this because it will be
Vicious
humbled in its
mockery.
little
Nat
shadow.
20. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's so good. And then people in the comments are like, well, you can't get a thing with that. And it's like, I know that exact feeling of being like, you can't crit with vicious mockery. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It sounded good and it was great, and that's how the song's supposed to be. It rhymed and it worked, fit for the song. Leave him alone. It's perfect. And oh, it's just so good. And he goes in with the loot the body. It's it is everything I wish my entire career of doing D&D TikTok music was. It's like, how did you encapsulate my first year of a career into one song? This is incredible.
I, I like that one. The other one that my first introduction to him specifically was the Lord of the Rings. The I walk, walk, walk.
I
Attacked
think
by
oh,
trees.
I'd seen that one. It was the
I haven't seen that either.
Oh, that one's good. It's a good one.
I'll have to look that one up.
It's
I'd gotten
it's
down a
about
click hole of watching his videos where it was just like one after another, just
Yeah.
scrolling through them. I'm just like, I wish I could play a piano.
Right?
I just pretend.
Oh, but I mean, funny enough, that's how I feel watching your stuff. I'm like, God damn it, why did I think of that?
I
It's
think
so good.
an eventual goal is to making the music very accessible to where I can just be like, does anyone want to make a song? And if someone's like,
Yeah.
I would like to, then just being like, okay, say these words and I'll make it. I just promise. Because what I find with a lot of people who have like hesitation for trying to make songs that have like in no way any type of musical stuff is that they have good ideas. It's just like when they try to execute it, they don't know the specific things to like make a song sound good or like make a lyric hit more like purposefully for specific stuff. So like if I'm like, hey, do you want to make a song or do you want a song about like your D&D character or something like that? I haven't tried this. This is just me talking and brainstorming an idea, but like working with them to be like, I do this, my character does this, and this is like the vibe of it. And it's like, oh, cool. So you want like this type of song about your ranger that has like a vaporwave theme or something like that, and you want these to be your lyrics. Like crafting something that they would want, but like still making them feel involved, so that at the end of the day they could be like, I made this with this person, and like it's a cool feeling, because like I know I feel great every time I finish making a song, so I'm like, I made that, that's dope. And so if I could like share that with other people to be like, they made that, it's dope, and they helped, and like I think that's an interesting way to bring people into the music side of things without them feeling like they have to know everything, because like it's great to know music theory, but that is a bunch of information that is like, yes, it is very helpful, but if you don't understand it, it's not the end of the world for a lot of people. And most people think that you need to know all that stuff to do it, when you don't. Like I am very much self-taught with how I do a lot of things, and so you don't need to know everything to know how music works. It definitely helps, but you don't need to know it all.
Just from like that little bit that you've been talking, it sounds a lot like you're very much a facilitator in terms of like having other people join into things that that you enjoy, be it through One Piece, telling people, giving people curated One Piece playlists, versus like helping people facilitate what kind of song they would like. Do you see yourself in that role a lot?
I think I do, especially with how eloquently you worded that. Because saying that, I was like, I do that, don't I? That's crazy. And I think it's because I enjoy giving other people the satisfactions that like I've gotten doing things, where it's like, you would enjoy this, you just need to be in the right like mind space for it, and this is how you can get in the right mind space to enjoy this thing, and like present it on like whatever platter would be the best, be it a silver platter, be it a Space Jam dice tray, who knows. As long as like they get the satisfaction of like the enjoyment out of it, that's what I like to like present to people. And it's fun. I'm sure that might translate into something psychologically in terms of like, oh, this would help me be a better like DM, but I've never tried doing that. So like that's maybe something on the bucket list to try. But I would say I think I'm in that like facilitator mindset of like, I want to give people the best experiences when they do things, because then that makes them happy, which then makes me happy, because I like seeing my friends happy and people enjoying stuff that I like, which is great.
I think that's a hallmark of a good GM from someone that doesn't actually GM.
Dang,
at
that's good.
all.
Great for me. Right.
Right?
For real, like no, for real. I love kind of hearing about how you facilitate everything around making sure that this skill that you have, that you can share it with other people, in order to like breathe into life a form of art that they couldn't do on their own, which is it's one of my favorite things. Back in the day, God, I feel old. I used to do music commissions to do exactly what you were talking about, which is like if somebody wanted the theme song for their character,
Mhm.
just give me a bunch of information and art if you had it, and then like I would just spend a weekend cranking out a theme song. And it's just like, and like this was before I was doing streaming. The other thing is like to have musical quest givers, so quest givers who give their quest as a song.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
like,
man, that would be great.
so like they would come up on this ghost and I would just press play.
Mhm.
That's how they would do their quest. I would love to see you do something like
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah, I've not tried doing those types of commissions. Normally the commissions I do are like more on the corporate side for like companies and advertisements and stuff, which I love doing. It's great. I can always whip up a rhyme about whatever program or show or event or product that they have, that they're like, hey, make this rhyme, and I'm like, right away, Captain. And that's definitely fun. I'm open to try that. I've just not done it before, but I feel like from what I've explained, like what you were just talking about as well, it's not a hard format. It's just a matter of like the doing it and getting the people to want to do it specifically.
Yeah.
So if you want a commission, let me know. I'll figure that out for the first time and see how that goes. I've not tried
Do it. It feels real good for your character to have a kick-ass theme song,
right?
especially if you give it to your GM.
Yeah.
Because I saw how people were using the commissions, and whenever they would have a character moment, they would just hit that character's theme song, and it's just like,
This makes me feel cool. This is
like,
great. I love this.
yeah, like, you know, it's just, oh shit, you know, being a badass is one thing, but having accompaniment whilst being a badass, oh, hell yeah. And
That's great.
That's a quick way to get more commissions, because what
For
I quickly
sure.
found was that one person in the party would get a commission,
And then everyone else is like, well, I
and
want one. What do you
well,
do?
hold on, you just hold on a goddamn second.
Oh, that's great.
Uh,
Be on the lookout, guys. I'll figure out how I want to structure that and get it set up, and you'll start seeing those
that would be interesting
advertisements
to do
soon.
if you wanted to do as a proof of concept. You could just do like a couple TikToks here and there, like here's a fun plot hook for your D&D game, but then you sing it instead.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people do those types of videos, and
Yeah.
because I've not GM'd, I never feel like I can throw those things out there, because I'm like, who am I? I'm just a player that doesn't stop talking. And I feel like it's not my place to be like, oh,
That's fair.
here's something you can throw in your game, because it's like, I don't know how to run a game. I don't is that too much to throw in your game? This is a whole song I'm making for you. Like, and so I talk myself out of it and end up not doing something like that. But that would be interesting, to be like giving the plot hooks as like a song. Just being like, hey, I'm a man who walked into town. I have no bags along with me, but I have this golden fiddle, and if you touch it, you'll turn into a devil or something. I don't know. I'm making this up. As you can tell, I'm great at improv. But I think that would be interesting, having that have like a musical twist to it, to present to the internet masses.
My dream is to put out a musical TTRPG. Well, not TTRPG, but actual play.
Yeah.
Like I want to run the game as normal, but then once it's all done and recorded, we go back and
Everyone sings their parts.
well, like, you know, if the conversation is basically like, I'm the bad guy and I'm trying to stop you from, I don't know, stopping me from doing this ritual, and we know that's the gist of it, I'd love to have like musical guests
Yeah,
make a fucking song out of that
That'd
interaction.
be so cool.
And you can
that would be really fun.
and you can edit it into the game. Oh, that is the dream. But that's because I'm a musical theater kid.
I'm currently imagining it's like, oh yeah, we just played the game. Now I need to translate that into a song, and it's just like the end of Tenacious D Pick of Destiny.
Yes!
Like, come on, Cage, now it's time to blow doors down.
I hear your cables, now it's time to blow doors down. It's time to showdown.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So that would be, yeah, we just need to make it a Tenacious D tabletop game. And we'll invite Jack Black.
Oh my god, the Pick of Destiny one shot would be fucking
so
sick.
metal. That'd be so sick. I had a friend who did not know of Tenacious D, let alone did not know of the song The Metal. And I was like, how do you not know? Because I feel like a lot of people will accidentally pick it up from just playing like Guitar Hero, because that's like one of the first songs that you get to play on it. But I'm like, I feel like with how big they are, it's interesting to find people who haven't heard of it, and it's like, go listen to it. I don't know how else to say, like, go listen to it, and then there's a whole movie you can watch that'll accompany along with you too. But like, it's interesting to be like, you've not heard of Tenacious D at all, and like, based on their musical genre that I've seen them listen to, I'm like, you should have heard like one of these songs. And like, it was such a surreal moment to be like, how do you not know who the D is? Like, what, you don't know Tenacious D? That's insane.
Y'all are talking about this one shot, but Tenacious D&D is right there.
Oh yeah, it would make more sense. Let's go with that. That's what we said the first time, for real. That's...
Did you hear us? Clearly that was our idea.
Right there on paper, for sure. You guys heard that, right? That was exactly what we said. No, Tenacious D&D is that's so good. Oh man, quick, we need to get Jack Black on the phone.
He probably
we got an idea. I feel like he's had to have played D&D at some point, right?
Oh yeah,
he
did a D&D live.
That's what it was. So I'm sure he'll do. Yeah, that's easy. And then we can get Dave Grohl on there too. It'd be fantastic and full double makeup.
I would kill to be at a table with Dave Grohl.
I don't know if he'd want to do that makeup thing again. I feel like that was a lot of prosthetics and
Oh,
time
yeah.
that we do not have the budget for.
What is this budget, you say?
Yeah, I have some Crayola markers and some cotton balls. We can try and make some red face paint. That's as much as I can do for you. And
I've
I'll
got
get some
airbrush and eyeshadow, and
paper
that's
towel
it.
rolls for some makeshift horns. We'll make do. This is gonna look perfect.
Hey, actually, I have some horns right here.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. What budget? We don't need one.
You don't need a budget. We've got cosplay.
I mean, Dave Grohl with the Cambian stat block is just writes itself.
Oh man, that would be great.
Oh,
Just, how did I not see that? I was like right in front of my face the entire time.
I'm sure there's some roll puns with Grohl, but I'm tired right now. So
Roll for initiative.
Girlfriend.
Dave Grohl, come on, hit us up.
Oh,
We got
man.
it. We got it in the can.
Oh, that's so good.
So, have you played live?
Huh?
Have you done any live music, any live performances?
No. Aside from my great career as a marching band snare drummer, I haven't really done live music before. The song I'm working on with Arcane Anthems is a song that we're developing to be performed live if it were to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my first time trying something like that. Just because that's not normally my forte of music. I can like all the songs I've made for the most part, I'm putting an asterisk mark on there. I can like recite and perform for the most part. I can't do like my Tiamat super fast rap, or I say my alphabet aerobics is one that I could do again, because anytime I hear the song alphabet aerobics, I just do my version instead, which I made that version of the song a lot harder because I tried making every word in each sentence start with that letter. So like for everything in A, I had the whole thing start with A, and that whole bar with B, everything started with B. There were only like one or two sentences that I couldn't get perfect, but like they sound like they start with it. So I at least got it away that way. But I've not tried to do a lot of those, especially because like a lot of the punchlines and bits and stuff I feel like are meant for a video punchline or like video consumption, and I don't think they would translate as well in a live setting. But I've not tried that, so I mean, I'm willing to try it. I just haven't done it to attempt it.
I would love to see that. You think?
I would love to know what it's going to be like after, because I feel like I'll black out and just do it and then be like, all right, I don't remember what I did for the last 20 minutes, but I'm sure you liked it.
Man, it's got to be only a matter of time before you're invited to a convention to do something like that.
At some point, I don't know. My confidence level of making music is great. My confidence level of expecting people to want me to perform it, that's a whole different stat block you're not even asking me about. I don't even want to know what that looks like. I'm sure it would be fun. I don't know who would want to be like, I'm going to see Denkles perform at this particular spot, and he's going to sing these 5 1-minute songs or something like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's very niche, like a micro niche of what I would do, to where it's like, I don't think I would draw that much of a crowd. That's why I would need like Nerd D or like Arcane Anthems to be like, I'm just going to help you guys do your thing, and I'll be a hype man for everything going on.
Get the crowd warmed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you got to start somewhere sometimes.
No, I think you draw way more than you think, buddy, because I'd be there. All right. So now we're at the part where we ask some of our set questions. And the first one that we go with is something that we like to call here TTRPG confessions. This is where, if you feel that you have maybe not a great tendency at the table, this is where you can come to confess your sin. We will give you a penance and go forth and sin no more. Now, I am not one to ask anyone to do anything that I myself would not do, so I will exhibit the expected behavior by doing it myself first. My it's. I feel like this is my same sin, so I got to think of a different one. Um, okay. Um, damn, all my sins are the same.
I have
Um,
one if you need a little time.
yes, please save me.
Whenever I'm playing a PBTA game, I pick a playbook, not realizing that there's another playbook that fits that better. And I should probably read all of the playbooks before I make a decision.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Playing the
Hmm.
last in Apocalypse
Apocalypse
Keys,
Keys.
when the Fallen actually would probably suit this character a lot better.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'll start this. Forgive me, Abria, for I have sinned. When I play tabletop games, I am very bad at not quipping. I feel like every session I play, I mentally am just Spider-Man, where after everything, I feel like in my brain I'm like, this is a one-liner. Boom, this is a one, and I can't stop saying things. I've gotten better at trying to like withhold that. But like I'll be on the, especially like in my home games, my DM and one of the characters will be doing like a one-off scene, and I'm over there with like my table buddy, and I'm just like, remember, this is funny. And then we like snicker, and then they're like doing this scene. I feel really bad, but I can't stop myself from like word associating with songs or word associating with like a punchline from something that I'm like always coming up with. And that's my hesitation with a lot of stuff is like I always find something to associate it with and then laugh at, because no matter like what the situation is, I try and find like the funny in it to
Yeah.
like get through it. Because if someone's like in a very serious situation, I'm like, I don't like the energy in the room, we got to laugh about something quickly, and then I'll think of like some random funny thing to say instead. But I have gotten better at it, and that's just been me. Like I think I have like a fidget toy or something. I'll just spin instead, and I'll look at that and think of my funny thing instead of saying it. But that is my, I think my bad trait that I have is just I talk way too much for my own good, and I never want it to jeopardize the table if I can help it.
That's a good one.
I think your penance for that is going to be write down your funny things.
I take notes, I promise.
Take notes,
Yeah,
and if
I'll
you have a funny word association at the table, just make a note of it.
noted.
All right, here is my. I don't. I'm having a hard time calling it a sin. All right. Here's my sin. When I play the darker, more stoic characters, I always feel bad. And so like I break them out of this quiet stoicism probably sooner than I should. Like I'm the example that I'm thinking of is we're playing a game of predation, which is a bunch of people time travel to the Cretaceous era, and then their time machine it just stops working. So they just gotta
Oof.
figure it out in the Cretaceous period. And so I'm playing a Karn, which is supposed to be like the village protector.
Mm-hmm.
And this is somebody whose backstory is that they had a mission go real bad. So they just do the job, and they're like supposed to be like your Geralt
Mm-hmm.
type, like I do the job, leave me the fuck alone kind of
Yeah.
individual. But my character has that energy. Noir does not have that energy. So it's just like, hey, we did this dumb decision and we know we upset you, but you want to talk about it? And the character is all like, nah, leave me alone. But Noir's just like, yeah, let's have a conversation.
Let's talk. Let's have a little chit chat.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's because I'm too soft. So that is my sin. Is that I'm softer than the characters
I would answer their question with a question. Do you want to have a conversation? What is there to talk about?
Ooh.
That's good. I am with you on that, Nora, because thinking of asking, like, what is there to talk about? I'd be like, there's so much we can talk about, and I'm willing to tell you everything. immediately.
Oh, so you say, what is there to talk about, and then you recap from your character's perspective, which is you did a dumb thing and you put everybody at risk.
Mm.
Dang. Now I feel like I'm in trouble
stoicism.
as a character. I'm like,
Right?
oh no, what did I do? I did do a dumb thing, didn't I?
No, that's really good. Okay, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take
Yeah.
that.
If,
sure.
if someone's like, well, I mean, I just wanted to talk about it. We need to have a conversation about what happened. What is there to talk about? This is what you did. Lay out what you did. Lay out the consequences. What else is there to talk about with this? It doesn't
Well,
quite
shit.
close off the conversation. It opens it up to more. It lets them exposit a little bit more. And then you can have like a little bit more of a genuine and heartfelt conversation, but you're still holding on to that portion of your character that is like a little bit darker
Pissed.
and
Good.
pissed about.
Man, now I want to
pissed
play a
about it.
rough and grumble guy.
Right?
I want to play a little stinker.
I'm so excited for Monday because Monday was just like the day where we come back after the decision was made, and like he's gonna be salty, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna be salty and still nice.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
Oh,
help
that's
me.
good.
Oh no,
I got
that I appreciate that.
I'm good at the brooders.
I'm not good at the brooders.
I can't. I'm good at making the people who brood crack by doing dumb and cutesy stuff at the table where I'm just like, come on,
I'm
you
good
can't
at
be
that
mad
too.
at me. Come on. Like,
I'm
I
just
know
a
we're
little
upset.
goofy guy.
I'm just a little goober. And then they can't keep a straight face, and I'm like, perfect. Now let's talk about why I didn't prepare this fight properly for us, and we all kind of
Ooh,
went down
I
a little
cast
bit.
firebolt at the troll. Ooh woo.
I promise I'll use healing word. You're
Oh,
at 5 hit points. It's not 0. You're okay.
Oh, this isn't a segment or anything, but this is a question that I've genuinely had on my mind, and I would love 2 experienced role players to give me their answer to this question, which is, can you think of an instance where a player refuses to heal another player that is appropriate?
Ooh.
Okay. I'm making this scenario up to give it context to
Absolutely.
fit. Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm like, the reason that I asked this question is because as a GM, I'm wondering, would you consider that PvP?
Yeah,
Because
but the act of not acting is in itself an action.
Right. So is there ever a time in game where it's appropriate for one character to refuse to heal another?
I would say if I'll take a page out of Baldur's Gate for this. So let's say that your character had a object on their person or with them that allowed a evil entity or something to influence that person. Like say they had a cursed weapon, like the one that like keeps hungering for blood or whatever.
Right.
Takes over their body, almost takes out the entire party, and then you finally bring that person down, bring up your crew, but you're like, do we revive this person and they are still possessed and we now get clapped a second time, or do we leave them to be and trust that we made the right decision of not healing them because we as characters don't know if that person can be saved, if we don't have the abilities of doing that, because not every party's going to have like a remove curse or like a restoration type of thing. So like if they're lost, but like characters aren't going to be able to know that specifically, and so a player might take that and run with the idea of like, I don't know if your character is going to be able to make those saves and or free yourself from that like mind corruption or whatever the situation may be that will risk everyone else in the party. So they put the rest of the party's well-being opposed to the one person, like trolley system type of trolley problem type of dilemma. I think that's the best I can whip up off dome that I would be like, that seems
good.
like it makes sense
Because it's a
to
good
be like a
character
thing.
moment.
Yeah, because it's like obviously I'm sure they don't want to like not bring back their friend, but if their friend is like gone, that's like they already have to like accept that when they're doing the damage to take them down in the first place. So it's like
Yeah.
they've already done the worst thing possible, which is like take them out. The second worst thing would be bringing them back up to then realize that that was the mistake, and then it's like their friend was truly lost and you brought back a monster or something like that, equivocal.
Mm.
I'd say further to that point, if there is precedence for not healing the character, like say the if there's another player that's not necessarily antagonistic, but part of their character is the fact that they're like, I do more for this party. You're just the healer. Like, go and do the healing man. Like, there, you can have that little bit of like character moment where it's like, you're not gonna get my best work.
I'm always gonna give you a level 1 healing word.
Or I'm gonna give you a medicine check.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Oh, that's a slap in the face. Oh, jeez. Get stabilized. don't even, don't even,
You might
don't
get
even
you
get up
might
to
get a
1
spare of
HP.
the
Get
dying
stabilized.
if I'm feeling generous.
Oof. Oh man, that's what an insult. Yo, I'll make sure you're
That's
stable. That's
hardcore.
all I can do for you. I'll make sure you're stable.
After hitting somebody with a heal spell.
Yeah, it's like, oh, quick, do you need like aid? Everybody but you. up your temporary hit points. You know, or you're good. You don't need this.
The
You'll stay at your
underappreciated
0.
cleric, I think, is a trope that you don't see too often, but exists in TTRPGs.
For sure.
I never even I like that. I like that a lot.
So I normally play clerics, and I'm the one that's just like, oh, you took 1 damage and your max is like 900. I'll heal you. 2nd level healing. Like I'm like, I gotta make sure you're top and ready to go. But yeah, if they don't respect my heals, they're just getting medicine checks, and I'm not even proficient in medicine.
I didn't even take that healer feat.
Yeah, no, I got an herbalism
Oh,
kit, and I found some dandelions in the grass. We're gonna plug that wound and hope for the best. Give you a
Yeah,
good old thumbs up.
we'll just slap some spit on it and walk it off, baby.
Exactly.
you didn't appreciate me, so this is what you get. I think I love that.
If you didn't appreciate me at my healing
I
word,
think that might
you'll
be my
never
next
appreciate
character.
me at my.
Honestly, is gonna be just a hard done by healer who is just like,
You gotta earn these heals.
you gotta earn
I
that.
I mean, see, but so I know this is so off track, and like I'm completely like taking the interview in a completely different direction. But I would like
How's that normal from any other show?
I just the idea of a healer that's just like you have to earn my heals before like I go all out.
It's a paywall of healing. You're at the tier 1 donor, so you just get healing words. Sorry. But for our VIP subscriptions, you get a 3rd level cure wounds. Let's
Not
go.
a capitalistic.
That's a that's a lawful evil healer right there.
I think I love that though.
It's like, listen, if you want to heal, you like, is my deity in your core provider area?
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. The character is just the U.S. healthcare system.
Listen,
this
for a
is
donation
an
to the
out-of-pocket
church,
exchange.
I would love to heal you for an appropriate donation to the church.
Wow. Because if you think about it, how many party members actually respect their clerics?
They get like an itemized receipt of all the components. It's like, this is what it took, and we're upcharging because your insurance didn't cover it, sadly.
Like I see that. I see that the Manticore has mauled you, but you still haven't paid for when we got trapped by those kobolds and they tore you up.
So we're gonna leave this until you get the gold that you need. So
I'm sorry, your comprehensive plan does not cover fire damage.
Just
if you'd
the
like, we can look
cleric.
at other options. I have create and destroy water. If you'd like for me to splash you with some water, that is something we could do. That is an offer that we have. It's not as expensive, so that might help you in your current financial situation. But currently, any form of healing will require further investigation on your current plan that you have. Will that work for you? No,
You don't have any pre-existing condition.
we do not accept Electrum. Sorry, as payment. You do need to have gold or silver.
I'm seeing on your medical records that you had a wicked case of mummy rot. That is a pre-existing condition.
Oh, you have two
Oh.
levels of exhaustion? I see. We do cap the limit at 1, so sadly you will have to live with that second level of exhaustion for a little bit longer because I don't want to cast that spell. Actually, I changed my mind. They just get all sassy about not wanting to do it. They just don't feel like doing it anymore. Like, I don't want to heal you.
want to know if this is a character concept that could be done without pissing off the rest of the party, because I love this idea, but this seems like a character that could
That's
quickly,
an instant issue at the table for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unless everybody is a cleric and everybody's trying to get the most money out of everybody else for healing stuff. Like the table rule is you can't heal yourself with your cleric spells.
That would be
You have to be healed by someone else. It's like a table restriction.
That would be a terrible or fun one shot to do for a charity game for something like Doctors Without Borders.
But it's doctors with borders in the game specifically.
Yeah.
They can't help themselves. They have to help others.
I see that you received a healing word from the bard. You know,
that's
there
out of
are
network
penalties-
coverage. I'm
That is
sorry.
out of network
penalties for
coverage.
seeking medical coverage outside.
You will have
of...
to stick with them moving forward. Sorry, we do have the ability to refuse service. Sorry.
Oh, so the druid gave you a good berry? That is not covered under holistic medicine. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Oh, that's so.
This is the worst or the best idea we've ever come up with.
Oh, you need a resurrection? That's going to require a
We're cooking something.
specialist?
I don't know what we're cooking, but we're cooking something.
A
Oh, that's good.
revivify, because there is a time limit on it. It is considered preview.
And
well,
are
they
you
miss the time
providing,
limit and they get a reincarnation instead.
and are you providing the diamond, or is that something that we'll have to provide for you? Because sometimes
It does have to be at least worth 300 gold, and if we provide it, we do have an upcharge, so it'll be about 1,200.
Yeah. Personally, my cleric wants to make sure the diamonds look cool too, so we take that into consideration as well. So if it's a
princess
crude
cut?
diamond, I'm not gonna.
Listen, it's gotta have
No.
those. It's gotta have those. It's
I
gotta have
want
the
that
color and
process.
clarity.
I want
It's
that
gotta have those
process
receives.
rock. Yeah. Oh,
It's
man.
just a character whose sword has a blue hilt and their shield is blue cross, blue shield.
No. And they have one of those little like squires that the DM can assign to a party that's just called Anthem.
No, I want to play this character so bad, but I'm
Anthem's
so
like, I take care of vision.
And later on in 31 days, you'll meet Guardian, who takes care of your dental.
I'm just.
That's just Spirit Guardian.
we're,
It's just a bunch of dentists.
I'm a cleric of the Azure Rood. I just did thesaurus for the word cross.
Okay.
Man. And then,
So
there's the one party member that's from Canada that's just like, this stuff's free. What are you guys charging people for? What's happening?
I don't understand.
Socialized.
I don't understand this. You can't go to your local cleric and just pop in.
Pop in.
Yeah.
That's
The
the
team
person
fighter's just like, I'm 3,000 gold in debt. And the other cleric's like, why?
That's
Who's charging you?
wait. That's just the acolyte background.
My God gives this to me every day. Are you okay? That arm looks infected. I got spells for you, dog. Are you good? Oh, that's crazy.
Incredible.
That would immediately bring up inter-party turmoil so quickly.
Oh.
It's like, you've been charging me. I have paid you 10,000 gold over the span of these past 3 months of travel, and I've gotten hurt once. That's how much I've been charging.
Yes, but if you would have been hurt, the recovery would have been at a
I've had to
greatly-
sleep so much. You know how many long rests it takes to fully fix a broken wing?
Well, I mean,
Maricopa or
if you
something.
want me to have a look at you, it's going to be a 500 gold deductible.
They multi-class into druid just so they can change it to an animal before they get hurt, so their physical form doesn't actually take the damage. It just pops out and goes back to whatever they were before.
I'm just imagining this cleric walking around with like a staff of Misty Step and Dimension Door. So if they're like, I could heal the party, but they're broke, or I could escape and find a new party.
Jeez.
Oh god, this
Every
is the
cleric
worst.
issued out from that specific religion that they uphold to has like their holy symbol has like a get out of party button that they hit, and it just bamps them back to their home base. And then it's like, well, my
We
time has
lost
been done
another
here.
one.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2 months for your next checkup of heals and things like that, and they can just teleport back in.
Oh god.
Just...
I'm about
It's
to
the
make...
most warlock page. It's the most warlock cleric ever, but it's like they're making deals with their party members instead.
I'm about to make a religion that functions this way and put it in the world, because this is
Pact of the Caring.
Oh god. Okay, sorry.
It's the Pact of Thoughts and Prayers.
Pact of thoughts and
Oh no!
prayers. I hate it.
So if they can't heal it, they'll just be like, "We'll be thinking of you." That's as much as we can do
We'll
currently
pray.
in this moment. You can pay for it? Oh, gotcha. Just give all the healing we need. Oh man.
Oh, that's easily a villain religion, but it'd be so much fun to see a player play one of their clerics.
For real, you go to a town and you just see everyone's like, "Oh wow!" So like the hospital here like helps everybody, and everyone's like, "Nope, no, they don't. They heal us, but they don't help us." And they're like, "What do you mean? What do you actually mean?"
How much coin do you have on you? That's gonna be very important later.
They have a metal detector walking in, but it's just scanning how much gold you're currently carrying on your person to know like if it's even worth your time. There's 2 different lines. There's the fast queue, and if you have no money, it's just one of those doors that spins around that takes you right back out.
they do like pointless activities, but it's only for the good press. Like, well, we feed the hungry. From 1 to 145 exactly. If you come in at 146,
and the spell only gives me 10 good berries, so get them while they're. I don't think they're hot, so get them while they're here.
Get them while they're berries.
We do a hero's feast.
Get them while they're good. That's it.
We do a hero's feast for the hungry. It costs 25 gold to partake.
It's like 10 Big Macs.
With the way McDonald's is going, it'd probably be 4. All right. So I have to break us away from this because I'm in love with this character concept, and I'll be hyper focusing on it all day. This is where we ask you what your signature move is.
Ooh.
What is the thing that you think that you bring to the space that is like your signature, like the one thing that you think that you do better than most?
It used to, for the longest time, when I only had like a minute to make songs on TikTok, it used to be that all of my songs like perfectly looped back into themselves. So much so when I would show my friends songs, I'd be like blah 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 blah, and it loops, and then it just goes right back into it. And that was a cute little thing. But then when TikTok was like, you can do 10-minute videos, I'm like, well, there goes that. Cool. So I would say the thing I am most known for is being able to speak very quickly and like in rap fast. I would say are probably my 2 heaviest like hits that I have. So being able to like be very verbose in a very short amount of time, or doing a rhyme or a rap or something that is just very fast. I think I count a lot of it coming from pretty much all throughout high school. I only listened to Watsky, who raps very fast, and so like that was my standard of listening for music. So when I listen to other songs, I'm like, this is going kind of slow. And so now when I like write other songs or do other things, and I noticed this with collaborations that I would do, I'm like, oh, for this line we could say like da 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 da, and then like I can't say that. And I'm like, you can't? What? That's just say it like this. And they're like, Matt, I can't do that. I'm not as fast as you for saying words. So I would probably say rapping fast is my like,
Oh,
boom, that's my trademark.
I love it. All right. Now you've done penance. You've done your signature. That brings us to a part we call petty
Petty
prime
prime
time.
time.
Now, petty prime time is where if you want to sub completely IRL, this is where you do it. Again, I will display the behavior that I'm expecting. And so here is my petty prime time. I am begging y'all that when you see something sensational that happens in the TTRPG space, like a news, like something like that pops up in the news, I'm begging y'all to think critically on it. Ask yourself, where is this coming from, and what do they have to gain from it? Don't just react to the headlines. Read the whole article, and be critical in your thinking, because some news reports are put out there to sway your opinion, or at least some headlines are. That's why they're sensationalized. So read the full article and then draw an informed opinion. I am begging you.
Gain some media literacy.
That
An ounce, a skosh, even.
just a sprinkle. It'll do you good, I promise. And that is my petty prime time. So that's basically all it is. If you have one of your own, please let us know. If not, you don't have to. Anita, if you have one, feel free. But that is mine. Would anyone like to go next?
Trying to think how I would want to word it if I do.
Yeah, that's the toughest part. Was just
Yeah.
like, I'm going to talk around this thing.
The writer's strike is over. Yes, the writers got their demands, but struck work still applies because that was SAG-AFTRA's request, and the actors still haven't got what they've asked for. So, if you are a person who provides content based around struck IPs, maybe you should. I mean, you should have already pivoted direction to something else. But if you haven't yet, it's looking bad for you. That's it.
Good one.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of that I'm like that I just have like at the hip ready to go would be like it is at the end of the day a game that we're playing. This whole thing, everything. This is all just a game. It is not that serious. Like there are moments where if it is too much, we have the agency to be able to just step away from stuff. If it's becoming something where it's like, I don't know if I'm vibing with this, just back out. You can just back out. You don't gotta like force yourself to be in a situation that you're constantly seeing stuff that either like upsets you or like is upsetting. Because I've seen that a lot where there's just stuff where I'm just like, I don't want to be seeing this right. I've read this thing and now I am tired for the day. I want to go back to sleep, and it is 10:30. Great. I love that for me. So like don't force yourself to feel like you have to be present in everything to still be a part of it. Because that was something I learned for the longest time, and honestly, you guys had proved that to me. I am very much one where it's like, if I don't have anything I'm doing at the moment, I'm just kind of vibing and doing my own thing. And then I think I ran into you guys at Gen Con, and you're like, we'd love to have you on, all this stuff. And then like the way you guys kind of like gassed me up, which I'm like, all right, cool, keep talking, I love it. Made me be like, oh, okay, I haven't done anything yet. I'm still a person that is like like known and or like expected in some places, that I think a lot of people feel like they need to like keep doing stuff to like and keep needing to like put their like hand into pots and stir things and like do things to like still feel like they're needing to be relevant when it's like you don't have to. I know it feels good to want to do that because it's like there's a lot of stuff you could do, but you don't have to do that. It's fine to just have a day where you just exist. You don't have to have a response to everything or need to be able to say a thing about this or that. You're good. Someone potentially is saying the same thing you're saying too in a different space and got their point across to the person you're trying to make it to. So it's just a game. We're all in a game, and take your time on your turn. No one's rushing you. It's okay to take a break from stuff.
I gotta tell you, it's wild to me that you could ever think that you don't do a lot, because like you've got so much out there, and I'm just like, this motherfucker's steady working. This is amazing.
I'm glad someone thinks that, because I've had many of these days I just spoke of just being like, I am exhausted. I thought I was going to be productive today. I will now instead play this silly little game where I run around Japan punching people and fighting stuff. And that's been my day for the past like 40 hours of game time that I've had in this game, just because I'm like, I can't be productive today. I'm going to just have a me day. And that's like been a week. So, fun times.
The content creator curses, no matter how much stuff you have out there, no matter how much people are like, oh man, I really want to work with this person. It never feels like it's enough. It's just one giant rat race. And like everybody that I've talked to on this show, like from you to like Matt Mercer and Brendan, like nobody feels like they're doing enough. And it's just like, if you're not doing enough,
then what am I doing?
What the fuck am I doing?
Yep. Yeah, it's like my mentality for a lot of stuff has always been quality over quantity, and I think I overthink that too much to the point where the quality part of my brain makes me not want to do anything at all, because I'm like, this isn't going to be how I want it to, where in reality I should still just make something, opposed to being this mysterious individual on the internet that sometimes remembers he has a Twitter or sometimes remember he has an Instagram. It isn't just watching One Piece with his friends or playing video games on his computer, and like occasionally makes a song. That's my current like look in the mirror, what do you see type of thing, which isn't what I'm projecting, but it's like, man, I should do something, shouldn't I?
It's so wild, like, because I get that you like you're genuine, like you feel that way, and it's just like we so don't have a good vision of ourselves, because like I think like part of it is, and I'm not gonna say this is you, but I know this was definitely me. It's just like I can't help but compare myself to like my peers.
Mm-hmm.
And like I understand that everything kind of comes and goes in waves. And,
yeah, for sure.
Just because it's not your turn right now doesn't mean it will never be your turn again.
Mm-hmm.
But my brain does such a good job of convincing me, like, oh, it's not just that it's not your turn, it's that you're done. Like
I am a pro at self-talk. It's crazy. I can speed run starting my day, waking up early, and then by the time I get to the bathroom to look in the mirror, I'm already like, I can go back to bed now. There's no point. I'm good. Like, I am efficient with that. And it's hard to like counter myself and like block those thoughts out, but like it's very easy to get stuck comparing yourself to people. And like, yes, there are things to compare yourselves with to other people, but that's not a reason to not do something. Because like if you asked two people, like in my space, if you asked like me and Nerd D to make a song about this topic, like paladins or something like that, we would both give you two very different products. Yes, it would be musical in some way if that's what you're asking for like the prompt, but we are different people that have different thought processes and bring different things to the table. So some people might be like, oh, I like what Nerdy did because I like this, and this about it. And they're like, oh, I like what Denkles did because of this, and this. It's like we bring different things to the table. So yes, they can be compared, but we are two different people. Although we both do music stuff in the TTRPG space and we're both named Matt, that's very hard to not separate because we are very similar in that way. But not everything's a comparison, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
would I want to do a performance in a with an orchestra, how coolly as Matt is doing right now? Like, yeah, that's sick. I don't have songs to do that. I'm not what am I going to compare? Oh yeah, you want to hear Barovia in a big giant symphony? Like there's things you can compare, but it's like it's pointless to compare because all you're doing is just trying to find something that you're not doing to then
Right.
put yourself down about, which helps nobody. Like it may help like your inner evil thought demon, which like no one wants to help that thing, so why are you doing that?
I ascribe a
But like
name to my inner evil thought demon.
I haven't done that yet. I don't want to give it too much power.
I just give it the name of someone I hate, and usually it works. Because I'm not gonna listen to that motherfucker.
But yeah, if you give it too much power and you like let it win, then all you're doing is just like delaying the like eventual you overcoming it. Because like at the end of it, you're still gonna win because you're still doing stuff. Everybody that creates has that. The reason why they create, for the most part, there are the people that just create for monetary gain and stuff, but like they make stuff because they can't imagine not making something. Like I don't think I could have gone like a whole year without making some type of song. There's tons of songs I have on my computer that I've just not posted because it's like I've made it, I got the satisfaction out of it, but it wasn't something that I'm like I need to post this. It was like it was just something that was there. Like when was it the Tears of the Kingdom came out, that game I tried playing it, I still can't play it for some reason. It's just every time I start it I feel like there's a checklist of a million different things I have to do. So I made a song about it where I was just like, I want to play Zelda, but I got too much anxiety. And I just made a song about it. It's maybe like a 30-second song, but it was something that I just shared with my friends locally and was just like, hey, do you guys think this is funny? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. I didn't post it, but I probably should, but I won't. But it's because like I made it because I was like, I have this like frustration with this thing that I really like, but I have no way to like express myself except for the way I know how to, which is being creative and making something to explain what I can't verbally normally explain, which is weird because I do music, which is
how
verbal.
It works with
like
musical theater.
it's yeah,
whenever your emotions get too big about a thing, you sing about it.
exactly. So it's like it's easy to have those like self-talks and like compare yourself, but like life is a kiddie pool. It's not that deep. You can like you're good. Everything's fine. Just move on to the next day and you'll be grand.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that one of the lessons I learned very quickly is I think a requirement to gather any sort of success in this space is learning to be happy and inspired by other people instead of bitter and like resentful about other people's success. It's just like, oh man, they did that awesome thing, I want to know if I could do an awesome thing. Like I think that's the healthy way to go. And like in the space there are some people that are just like, oh man, somebody did that awesome thing, fuck them.
Too many people are seeking validation and not inspiration.
Yeah, validation's great, but like you still have to like validation's not going to make the next idea, like
yeah,
it's only going to confirm the one you've completed, which stops your progress and doesn't let you go any further because you're just like, I did do a good job, didn't I? That was great, I'm smart. Like, and it doesn't help you make a new, like it's not going to make a new song. What is that? Like, you're just going to talk to yourself. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can't rest on your laurels too terribly much, especially when you're in a space where
content creation is very much a what have you done lately sort of feel.
Yeah,
which is why I think burnout is so real in what we do, because it's just like, I just did this other thing, like what about that? Well, people enjoyed it, now they want more.
I feel like Gen Con was like a week ago, and I feel like the next convention that's coming up that a lot of people are going to feels like it's tomorrow, and I'm gonna try and have to fit in like, well, what have you done since this? And I have to have like a progress report of like, I've worked on 40 different albums, I've done 15 actual plays, I've made 3 seasons of a show. Like That's
I
impossible.
mean,
Why
you
why am
can
I
count morning ritual towards your achievements. You could
Yeah,
say,
let's
I
go.
was interviewed on a talk show. There you go.
Exactly. It just feels like it's easy to think that you're like falling behind because in the content creation space, it's everything's always happening, but at the same time, nothing's going on. Everything
Yeah.
is a snail crawl until everything's on fire, and you're like, "Why did we get here? What's happening? It's December," and you're like, "Okay, what is happening right now? This is really weird. I don't know what's going on." Um, so it's taken a lot of getting used to, and I'm still not used to it.
Neither am I, my friend. Neither am I.
And it's hard to get used to it. And here's the thing: is I don't know that you should get used to it.
No,
I think that uncertainty is another driving force.
yeah, you never know where your next step's gonna be, but you just know you gotta move in a direction, and that
Correct.
is it's still forward no matter what. But like,
Yeah.
it's just visually you don't know where you're going.
Oh man. So that was our petty prime time. Led to a pretty cool conversation. But now we come to the heart of it. We come to our signature spot, which is if you've been in the TTRPG space for long enough, you've probably had the displeasure of playing with a that guy. A that guy is a veritable black hole of fun at the table. Someone who, if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience at the table would improve tenfold. So, Matt, I have to ask you, do you have a bad guy story for us?
I do. And it's somewhat of a double-edged sword as I'm realizing it of where it came from. It was when I first got into playing D&D, I had went to my local game store and was just like, "Oh, hey, I'm here to like learn about D&D. I watched the show called Critical Role and I was told to buy these books. Can I watch a game be played?" And they're like, no, but you can like play in one." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's too much." So they brought me over to a table and I started a game with this DM that was, as far as I knew, because I had no other comparison of how the space is supposed to go. I was like, "Oh, that's a cool guy," and he's like, "Oh, I'm a writer. I make all this stuff," and like is making this like environment out of all these games and stuff, and is a cool person. I can still talk to him today and be fine. But there was this time where we were playing this game, and I had this. It was a water genasi ranger that had a little snow owl as his companion. Did I ever use it? No, because that wasn't a thing that was ever brought up by the GM of that I could do for stuff. But based on how the story was going, the idea I had for my character was that my character had left his port town where he was living with his mom to go find a treasure or something that he had been given a note to by his dad, who like left long ago or whatever, and was like, "Hey son, you've come to this age. Here's this map and a treasure, whatever. Find it. Do the story. Blah blah blah." We get through the plot of it. I will. This is an open-ended thing. I will ask, what do you think the treasure was that he left for me to discover? My character's father left my character a note to find a treasure map, to find a treasure. What do you think the treasure was? I will tell you, you're not going to get it, but I would love to hear your guesses.
The friends we made along the way.
That's a
I'm
good
gonna
one.
guess. Man, I don't know why I went straight to One Piece. It was like a ship. He left him a ship.
Oh, I wish it was that. So remember how I said this is a hook where you're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah.
The treasure that was left was he found this like orb thing that basically when he touched it turned him into his father. My character was a piece of my father that he left, and then I basically rejoined back with him and became my father. And I'm like, what?
What?
Why would you do that to me? What have you've ruined this character for me? I'm my own dad. What are you talking about, dude? What is that? Like, it just slowly got more gradual to the point where I was just like, what made you think that I would feel satisfied with my character arc being Ah, yes, you were born in this poor town, and then you grew up, and your father left you a note saying, "Come find my treasure, son." You find it, and you realize you're your own dad. What? You know
The
what I mean?
slow
Yeah.
zoom, not the slow zoom.
So, all that to say, wasn't the craziest about that storyline. Um, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think about that?
I'm just
What?
thinking of Gorgug. Am I my own father?
Told you it was a good one. It was
I'm gonna make a stream
it
marker
hit
of
you.
that. I need more. I need more confused reaction as a GIF. I'm gonna send it to Michael Wayne.
What?
Yeah,
The- your dad Horcruxed you?
yeah. That's that's real
Was it
cool.
presented like as an evil thing, or was
No,
like I
nope. It was like this is cool, isn't it? And I'm sitting there horrified at the table, like, no, no, no. What? Why would I want this? This is so crazy. It's very wild. It was like the theme of the game was like high fantasy, but like mixed with like tech and stuff. Like an example of crazy world building in this was that we snuck through this hallway to go retrieve a holocron something, I don't know, and then we left the facility, and then the DM was like, cool, something something something, and then uh, you have these many rounds until these people are after you, and you're like, what are you we just snuck through this whole facility, and they're like, well, you didn't check for cameras, and we're like, you've never said that cameras existed in this world, like as a security feed or something like that, at any point in this game. Why would we assume that this facility would have cameras in a fantasy game where sneaking is like our main thing, and you wouldn't account that to being like part of us being stealthy? And that's a thing. Cameras? You told us there's cameras existing now, and you didn't mention that in the description of the room at all when you were telling us to sneak around and do all this stuff? What? That's crazy. That was before I knew about the father thing. So that was at first my crazier thought. But like, that was such a crazy like intro to D&D that now I'm like, wow, I know what to dodge in the future. To not.
he made you your dad?
Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
That-
It's the dads we made along the way, right?
That's the treasure. It's the
That's the
dads we
treasure.
made
That is the
along
one
the
piece.
way.
like there's so much like if you put one iota of thought into that plot
Yeah,
line.
like the childhood of me is really crazy, right? Living at the house with my mother, wife, person. What? That's and it's just like, dude, did you not think about like any part of that? Make it a sword. I'll take a sword over that. Like, I don't care if it was
Like
a
I was
crappy
thinking,
gift.
it was a
Anything.
ranger. Like,
Yeah,
just
like
give a weapon, I guess.
make my owl talk to me or something, dude. I don't know. Don't make me my
Like,
dad. That's the worst
make
punishment
me-
in the world.
don't make
Someone
me
with daddy
like-
issues.
Oh my gosh.
Woof.
Fix them yourself. You're your own dad now.
Man, that time I yelled at myself to the point where I gave myself trauma was really something.
I know. I feel like my character is gonna be like, "Yo, I gotta go to the store and get some milk or something, and I'll be back." And I just pick up with a new character and just come back. And I'm like, "They're not coming back. It's fine. I am my own dad. It's okay."
I gotta know how this campaign ended. Like
I think that was our last session because I didn't want to play again after that.
I would
was
hope
like,
not.
I was like, this. I hate this character now. I don't want to do this anymore.
You made me my dad. Well, that's a top tier. That guy. That's a top.
I think that.
That's
I
think
know
that
you
is.
gave me those other examples, and I was like, "This is mine is bad, but it's not that bad. But it is bad. It's I think it's bad at a different tier of like what it could have been. I don't know.
We've got bad in terms of GMs, and then we've got bad in terms of humans. Like
Okay.
there, like some bad guy stories are just like that's a bad human.
Yeah.
This is, and then there are other ones where it's just like that's a bad GM. This is clearly in the realm of the GMs, and whole he made you your. I didn't know. Like, this is a fear for me now. Like,
I have not played a Ranger or a Genasi since, out of fear of you never know.
you never know
Someone
when
might
you're
try and pull a
dead.
fast one on you and make you your dad. It's never an expectation you have
That goes on the
starting the
lines of
game.
Vale's sheet permanently.
It's like, hey, I came here to roll some dice and bother myself. Is that's what I'm looking for in a tabletop game.
This is a nightmare. Oh, that is actually gonna go on my lines and veils. Don't make me my dad.
What are things you don't want in a game? I don't want to be my own father. If you could help make that a dream of not coming true, I would appreciate that greatly.
Shit, that's a nightmare. That's a
Yeah.
nightmare. Because there's so many questions you can't help but ask, and none of them are a good time.
I thankfully didn't ask any of those questions that came to mind. I was just like, no. I was just like, no, I'm not. I don't want this prize. I don't want this prize. He who shall not be named. I do not want this Sam I am. I do not want to be my own dad.
It will make me
how
very
would you
sad
even
if you make me into my dad.
I mean, how would you even go on with that game after that? You can't. That's a game ender.
That's hoof.
Oh,
I'm glad I had moved to another group and party, like with a different character at another point where I was like fine dropping this one, because that was the moment I was like, yeah, this ain't it, Chief. I ain't sticking around for this.
oh my God. I'm so sorry you went through that.
It's okay. Hey, it's years ago. I'm not going to say water under the bridge because I was a water genasi, and that's bringing back memories of it. It's bridges have been burned. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
what a time though.
Learned.
Crazy. But I'll gladly take the title of worst guy.
Yeah. No,
Story. Man.
This is easily our worst GM story.
I mean, next to the guy that made character bleed.
Oh, well, I consider that in the bad.
That's in the bad.
Character bleed's tough. That's a hard thing too.
The one that I'm referring to used character bleed to break up a marriage.
Yeah, that's the response.
I would rather someone make me my own dad than be responsible for breaking up a marriage through a tabletop game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. What the heck?
I mean, let's listen. That's bad, but also making somebody their own dad. Oh,
but
yeah. Oof.
I don't know how we could. Well, you know what? Let's bring it back to some positivity.
Yeah. You guys weren't happy that I was made my own dad? Yeah, I think that's what he wanted me to be happy about. So
I don't think anybody was happy that you were your own dad except that GM. Man. And I bet he thought he was cooking.
He was.
He did. He thought
he had the apron on and everything. He was chefing.
I bet he started that session off thinking, I'm about to get him with this one.
He's gonna thank me later. Oh man, I'm cooking.
You think you gonna get treasure or a sword? Get ready to be your dad.
Have a lot of mental issues. Figure this out off table.
Here's some new trauma, baby.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Hot, fresh, and ready for you.
I wouldn't even want to call it an achievement unlocked. It's like whatever the opposite of an achievement has now been locked in place and is put in the Disney vault, never to be seen again.
Oh my God.
That's so bad.
I mean, what makes it worse is that it's set up in such a way where I don't know if you were, but I would have been excited. Like, oh, we're getting to the end of this quest line. I'm about to get something from my dad.
We did this whole underwater like siege thing. We were like swimming through stuff and like fighting these like monsters and creatures, and like we saw it was like in a clam thing, and I was like, this is gonna be so dope. I'm gonna open this clam and it's gonna be like some crazy magical thing. And I was just like, you see your father. I'm like, What are you actually saying to me right now? What words are coming out of your mouth right now? What are you informing me of? I am my own dad. Great. So that's my last session here, guys. Appreciate it for actually I don't appreciate it. Goodbye. Like it's such a letdown.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
upsetting.
Well,
But
It's really happy stuff, right?
yeah,
We're gonna
I think we're going to move. Well, I mean, usually we wind up coming down off of the absolute roller coaster that is that guy, and bringing it all together with some community spotlights. So if there's
yeah.
anybody that you would like to shout out in the space,
Hmm.
now's your time to do it. We'll
I
give some
would
folks some
love
love.
to shout out Tales Archived. It's a really great friend of
Ooh.
mine who has a amazing stream. I believe the channel is also just Tales Archived here on Twitch,
Oh, heck
if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken. But they have some fantastic shows that go on there, and they're cooking up some other ones that I'm hopefully going to be a part of because that's great too. But they do an amazing job of just performances, all their characters. Their table is great. It's one of those tables that like when you watch their stream, you're just like, you feel like you're kind of sitting there as like the extra person that's just like, oh, I could chime in when I want to, and that's like when you're being in the chat and stuff. But like you feel present at the table even though you're just watching it, which is a really rare experience you get like every now and then between different tables. So it's nice to be able to like pop into that and just know that you're gonna like feel cozy watching a great story be told. Which is fantastic, and just kind of being able to see them is amazing. But yeah, they're great. And if you head over there and say Denkles sent you, they'll probably be like, "What are you talking about?" And then just elaborate further, and they'll know. But they're fantastic. I love those guys.
Oh yeah, they have a couple of games with some amazing tables.
They got some heavy hitters over there.
Oh hell
Heck
yeah.
yeah, Angie's
Def-
Angie's in that game. In Tolish.
Hmm.
Hell
That was
yeah.
that was the word I couldn't think of. It was like it's always hard with fantasy names because it's like I remember what letters are in it, but I don't know how they say it. And that's the tougher part for me is to struggle with that. But yeah, they're great over there.
Hell yeah. You got anybody else you want to send some love to?
Oh shoot. Let me think. We got my buddy and pal Arcane Anthems. If you want free tabletop RPG music, hit him up. He's fantastic. I would love to say my homies at Unbeatable Cast, but I'm on that, so I feel like I can't just say my own thing.
So
that I'm
Unbeatable
on.
Cast. Hell yeah.
Unbeatable Cast. If you want a cool Pokemon, not Pokemon tabletop game story being told and a new TTRPG that's being made that really focuses on like narrative storytelling. It's fantastic.
What channel is that on?
So it's on YouTube.
Nice.
We record all of our sessions and then edit it down to be like in a consumable podcast form. And we work pretty hard on it because instead of it being like 4-hour long videos, when we were making it, I was like, guys, I want people to be able to catch up on this pretty quickly. Our episodes are like max an hour and like 15 minutes if we can save it. But we're building the game as we play it. So each episode will say if like rules have changed or we've updated stuff, but it's really focused on like the storytelling of you as a trainer and like what Pokemon you have. And you have a lot of agency over like if and when your Pokemon evolve, if you want to learn certain moves or do certain things. And my friend Obsidian Olive does a great job of running it. It's fantastic.
Hell yeah.
And we're slowly getting into doing like a beta test of helping people like learn the game and stuff. Because currently the main way of learning it is just by watching us play it. We've had some people try and like reverse engineer it, and we're just like, guys, just get in our Patreon. We have documents you can get. You don't have to work yourself to the bone trying to figure this out. But we have fun over there. It's great. I also made the theme song, Toot My Own Horn, which is fun. But yeah, it's great. Unprepared Casters, those are some awesome folks as well.
Love Unprepared
Love
Casters.
them. They just had a beautiful divorce where my homie G, Amelia Som, is now carrying the the weight of the world of Unprepared Casters on their shoulders. They're fantastic. And trying to think of some other folks. Shout out Total Party Kiss. They're great.
Total Party Kiss. We love them.
How could I forget? Atomless. They're fantastic. Everybody over there is great.
Yeah.
Crail's fantastic. And
Oh, my corny ass almost went. And the Analysts, we love them. Friends of the show.
I want so badly to be able to say that casually for stuff and just regular conversations when we're not like live or anything like that, talking to somebody and just being like, "Oh, John, friend of the show for sure." Yeah,
I mean, we can, because we've had everybody from Adamus on, I think, except for Andre, and I'm gonna message Andre probably after this, so that we can complete the whole.
There you go. Yeah, it's a group consensus.
Set.
You can say friend of the show, then that's good. Yeah.
Honestly, though, like the Green Room, the show I was talking about where we want to do clips and stuff, was we thought of that show with the Adam List in mind. No lie, it's because it's just like it's such a good show, and just got to get folks in on it.
Yeah, it's great. And if I can't think of any more at the moment off the top of my head, if you are my friend and you're watching this and I didn't call you out, just let me know, and then I'll just call you and apologize in person if I can't remember.
We can always add them. So what we do with the community spotlight is that we're gonna take your suggestions and show little clips of the stuff that you were talking about, and put it on our socials. So if there's anybody you think of afterwards, feel free to holler at us and we'll add them to the highlight reel.
Sick, love that.
Yeah. But with that's the end of our show. That's where we cap it off. So I've been one of your hosts, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir nigga. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Hive, Mastodon, Spill, OnlyFans, Pornhub, wherever.
I feel like you're making a couple of those up.
Yeah, you won't find me on Mastodon. Anyway.
Who uses Mastodon?
Listen, I'm trying because one of my very best friends is on it, and they're trying to convince me that it's the best one. And they're super smart, and like Mastodon is where the smart people go to do social media, and I have to lovingly tell my friend I am not among the number of the smart. So my dumb ass is gonna be on Blue Sky. Anita, where can folks find you?
You can find me at Panita. I am also the channel runner and founder of Critical Misses, so you can find me here. And we've got currently got some signups for some actual plays happening right now. We have a Monday game of World of Wildevere, GM'd by Maybe Mayhem, which is going to be a really fun time. May was on my game time and time again last season, and I'm really excited to see what she cooks up as a GM. And on Thursdays we've got a game that's going to be run by It's the Riddler, and we're looking for cast members. So if you want to sign up for those. That's I believe our pinned tweet. If it's not, it's like the first or second tweet that we've done recently. So sign up.
Dope.
But yeah, that's it for. And then Denkles, tell us who you are. Where can you be found?
I'm Denkles. I'm not my own dad, and you can find me on the internet at Denkles. I have a YouTube. I have an Instagram. I promise I'll remember that they exist at some point. On Twitter and TikTok as well. I make little songs and jingles and fun stuff like that on the internet. And you can also find me at Unbeatable Cast, where I play Seth Wake, water type specialist trainer that has a little totodile named Bowie, and he's adorable and great. And we have tons of fun over there telling fun stories about Pokemon.
I also saw the totodile that you've got on your shelf behind you, and
yes, it's
the
great.
Gibble.
Yes, they're great. They're little tiny guys. The Gibble's great. I just recently got this for my birthday because it was the newest party member that I have. His ears kind of like bounce up a lot. He's very dumb, but in like the most, he's so smart, but he's dumb at the same time.
I love them. They're no thoughts, head empty kind of boys.
It's honestly, I'm building up Team Chomp if I can help it, where all they do is bite. That's it. They do one job and one job only, and it's Chomp. They would crunch dice if they had the opportunity to.
You know what? I can't fight that. That's in their nature, but we know better.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's been our show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. I always tell my guests at the end, I will bully you to come back because we still have so much to go over, and I'm excited to see what you do next. But until then, That's it, everybody. Get the fuck out. No, I'm kidding.
We're gonna go on a raid and we're gonna go say hi to our good friend DeLevely. Sam is playing some Horizon Forbidden West. And yeah, we will talk to you all next time. Until then, though, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody!
Bye. That was so much fun, man. Thank you
That was a
so much
blast.
for
I'm
joining
excited
us.
to be back on to see how episode 2.